Background. It's Friday, Friday.
I got you.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
That was Rebecca Black?
That was Travis as Rebecca Black.
You guys will be very happy. I survived this morning.
Wow.
How'd you survive?
Why did you survive? Yeah.
I made it through another early morning walk without getting snatched.
Wow. I'm so proud of you. It's such a big issue. They're trying to snatch 6'3" white guys.
Is that going to be a Friday thing now?
They didn't get me. What?
Is that going to be a Friday thing now?
Well, I have plans
like
today,
it.
Jorge. I have plans today,
Martini's
Jorge.
on the street,
Wait.
huh?
Stop for
Yeah.
a quick second. Before your plans, martini, all that. The fact that the guy woke up at 4 a.m. and walked, that's pretty damn impressive. We should take a second here. I know
Thank
the
you,
whole
Alan.
snatching thing. No. You stop, too, because you're talking about getting snatched.
Not today, I
No
didn't.
one is looking for a 6-foot.
There was
how
one
tall
guy
are you?
who crossed the street when he saw me coming. It was about 4:25, and we're heading towards each other. And
He was scared of you.
I was literally
Yes.
about 3
That
steps
part is
away
right.
from crossing the street on my own. Like, I don't know who this guy is, and he beat me to it. He decided to cross first. So
I
I
love that.
alpha mailed him from the distance at 4:15 in the morning.
I love that where you're walking on one side. By the way, am I right or wrong on this? Isn't it the same as it is on the roads? If you're walking, you stay on the right side? Am I right on that?
Well, so where I am, one side of the road is lit up much better than the other. So
Yeah.
we were both walking on the well-illuminated side of the road. So he
No,
moved to the dark side.
So let's say you're both on. It's just one paved path.
Yeah.
And it's just a sidewalk, and you guys are both on that sidewalk.
Uh-huh.
Shouldn't you be on the right side of that sidewalk? He's on the left side.
Well,
Or
it's not that wide, Al. It's only like maybe 4 feet wide. Like we would have to. One of us. There's not a lot of passing distance, and we're probably, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet away before we realize there's somebody else coming. And he's like, "Yeah, I think I'll cross," because he probably didn't want to get snatched either.
But I just get
Probably.
thrown off in those walks where I see somebody in front of me. I'm on the right side of the sidewalk. They should also be on the right side of the sidewalk, right? Their own lane. It's like
Yeah,
we just
like
kind
you
of
said,
made
rules
our
of the
own
road.
lanes. But somebody will be on like the left side. I'm like, what are you doing? Like it throws everything off. And then I kind of start going the other way. They start going the other way. I'm like, what's happening here?
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
What is your go-to move when you're
Buenos
walking,
dias.
when you're walking next to somebody like that? Do you look at your phone? Do you look at your watch? Do you look away?
I
Do you
have-
look down?
I'm looking at them to see if they're looking at me. That's step number one, right? So we're coming towards each other, and if I realize they're looking at me and I'm looking at them, I will give them the very simple high five and tight lip smile. Just this one. If you're watching on YouTube, it's just this one. Right? Like, hey, I'm not looking to stop. I'm not looking to converse. I recognize you as a fellow human being that's out walking. That's it.
Have you seen Batman, that last Batman movie where Christian Bale and the guy that plays Alfred, at the end, they're like having coffee?
Michael Caine?
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
not the last Batman
Oh,
movie.
whatever. It's just
Roger Ebert over there.
I'm just saying.
the
You
last
are a
movie
bear
I
for
saw.
accuracy.
The last Batman movie I
Good
watched.
point, Emily. You're right
Anyway,
about that.
you know how they nod at each other? That's
Yes.
what I do when I
That's
walk.
right. Little nod, a little acknowledgement
Yeah,
that
At the
it's going on.
cafe in Italy.
Yes,
Sure, it could have
Yes.
been France. I would have said France.
I put
Bonjour.
my hand. I shake hands with everybody. I always have my hand out.
There is a lot of people that will actively avert eye contact, though, that they will stare at their phone. They'll look over there. They'll pretend that they're looking
Emily.
something up in the sky.
Yeah.
Emily,
It
right?
depends on my mood. It depends on my mood. If I'm in a good mood, which I'm not this morning.
I was just about to ask that, but let's continue.
I'm walking around and I'm
Walking around
like
here.
I'm saying, "Oh, hi!" And especially if I'm not listening to music or something, if I have no headphones on, I'll acknowledge people walking around. Especially also if they're, seeming to be in a good mood. But most of the time, I'm just heads down. Maybe I'll give a smile or whatever. But like
Little
mostly,
tight-lipped wave.
I have
don't care.
I have about a 40% success rate right now. I try to give Trav, like you. I try to make some eye contact. Nod ahead or good morning or good afternoon, something like that. Keep going. I'm at about a 40% success rate. 60% of the time, either somebody's got their head down, they don't even look, they don't smile, nothing. I'm like, all right, what are you going to do?
Or you do
Can't
the
win 'em all.
Mexican when you go like that.
Yeah, the little head tilt,
Yeah,
little
that's
they
back.
say, "Damn, that's crazy."
So I don't know if this is a white guy thing versus a Mexican guy thing. Like if you said like chin up, right? You're going chin.
Yeah, you're like-
The white guy thing is chin down. It's
No, no.
yeah, I don't know.
Mexicans go like this. Yeah. What's up, fool?
Speaking of fool, where's my mole?
Yeah, we didn't make it.
What?
Yeah, we didn't.
Didn't happen?
Yeah.
We're teasing it literally all day.
I was, but then I get home and she's like, "Guess what? We don't have it. We're out of it."
There's no grocery store available?
Yeah, but we don't make it with that one from the grocery store. We
You
actually
make it
use
from
the
scratch?
powder. Yeah.
Yeah.
We get that
Real.
actual powder and then the whole broth.
So
and
does it
chocolate.
get made tonight? Does it get made over the weekend?
That's
we
why
have to buy
Trav
some.
walked this morning. He thought he was having mole at
Having
8
one this
a.m.
morning.
Look, my whole day is a little out of whack because I got up a little bit earlier than not like an hour earlier than I usually do, but I did my walk, so I have my endorphins are pumping, right? And I go home, I take a shower, I get usually we've talked. I don't eat until after the show, but I'm like, there's no way because now I'm wide awake. Everything's going. I need to eat something, so I go to Starbucks, I get my iced coffee. And I didn't even get the oatmeal, Al. I got the little sandwich, which is always terribly underwhelming. But I was prepared for the underwhelmingness nature of it.
It's 3D printed. It's going to be underwhelming.
You're right. I have no argument whatsoever. You are right.
But you, like you said, you mentally prepared that there's going to be zero taste to this. It was
like eating cardboard, but it was warm cardboard, so it was fine. And now I can't stop eating. Your baklava from yesterday is still in the kitchen. I've already had 2 pieces of that. I don't even know if that's breakfast stuff, but I just hammered through it.
Stop you for a quick second. Stop eating that.
Why?
Because what you just did this morning, literally about 80% of your walk is already out the door.
Oh, you don't understand. I'm already. I bought a little bit ahead because I'm going to do work tonight. I'm just letting you know that I got plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that. Like, I'm not messing around tonight.
Did you know yesterday? So you had already planned this out. This wasn't like you woke up early and was like, I'm just going to go get my walk in. You had already planned this yesterday?
I knew I would not have time for it today. The only time that it would fit in my day today was before work. So I did that. And now I'm ready to knock out the rest of my day. I'm going to do this, and then I got plans, and I'm looking forward to it.
Walk us through it.
So
you should go live tonight on YouTube.
I wouldn't. If you said I'll give you $1,000 to figure that out, I couldn't do it. But
it's pretty simple.
I'm not arguing the simplicity.
There's a live button on there. You hit that, you're live.
Didn't you? You were the one that was giving me a hard time about not being able to post correctly on Instagram.
Yeah, you posted a video of a picture.
I said, I don't even know how to do that. Like if you said to do that again, I couldn't do it.
Wait, I don't think I've ever heard that. And I've heard the story before, but the way she just described it, you posted a video of a picture.
I did.
It's hard to do.
I still don't know how I did it.
That sounds amazing.
I don't know how I did it. It's
hey guys, I got a photo of something I want you to see. I'm going to take a video of it. So
Turned it into a reel.
I turned it into a reel, Al. Like I said, I'm not quite sure how I did that. But so if you're asking me to go,
awesome.
So I'm meeting a couple of buddies. What up, Brian and Greg? And we're going to go to JoJo's in Long Beach. And it is a over 100 years old bar in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah. You did that one time in
I've done it a couple of times. It's a cool little hangout spot and kind of old school. Have a couple of beers. They make this sandwich, Slee, where they take a hot dog and they split it down the middle. We kind of butterfly it open, put it on rye bread with Swiss cheese, mustard, and horseradish. Let's go.
Okay. I know this bar has been around for a long time, but I just want to say, in the Sliwa household, we used to cut hot dogs down the middle, put them on a pan.
Yeah.
Crack a couple eggs on there, put it in a pita bread, throw some cheese on there as well, we had a little something going.
Very similar. So this has a slice of Swiss cheese, and they give you a pickled egg on the side. So it's wonderful. And they got these giant beers that are so cold they're practically freezing in the goblet.
That's amazing.
So we're gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna go watch a little Big West baseball. Long Beach State against Irvine.
You got the ice on the top.
It's just shy of having the ice chips on the top.
But live baseball, not at
live
the bar?
baseball.
Nice.
Live baseball at Blair Field in Long Beach. A little Long Beach State, UC Irvine. Little Big West action. Can't wait. That's my plan. And they serve beer at Blair Field too. So it's going to be one of those days, Jorge. Let's go.
Nice. I like it. I'm jealous. I'm not going.
You're welcome to join us.
All right.
Let's go.
I'll hit you up.
Just so listeners know, what time is all this taking place?
Well, game's at 6.
Okay.
So I will be at JoJo's 4:30. 4:30. We're meeting at 4, and then we're heading over at 4. Yeah, come on over. It'll be fun.
I like it.
That's my plan. And like I've had it on the books for a few days. Been looking forward to it. Baseball, hot dogs, beers, hang out. Who says no?
Hey, I'm down.
What about you guys? Nothing? Okay, see you later.
No, you were looking at me. I couldn't tell, so I thought.
I'm throwing it open to the group.
Well, it's Mother's Day
Jorge.
weekend.
What do you got going
It's
on?
Mother's Day weekend. So
Yep.
today is Mexican Mother's Day. So Feliz Dia de las Madres to my mom Martha, Brenda, and her mom, Martha as well. So Feliz Dia de las Madres, and we started that today with dinner at Brenda's parents' house. Tomorrow we'll dinner at my mom's house, and then Sunday.
You got 3 engagements.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
And then Brenda, I'm taking Brenda and the kids out Sunday. We'll see what we do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
There you go.
That is a full
Mother's Day weekend.
You
sure.
have see, most of us, we do something on Sunday, and Saturday's still kind of open.
Saturday morning we're kind of cool, it's open, and then at night in the evening go with my parents.
What about you, Slee?
We're gonna be opposite. We're gonna do Mother's Day tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll do everything tomorrow. A couple of my sisters got other stuff going on Sunday, so we're gonna cram it in on Saturday, and then I think I already told you I'm gonna go watch a little Bueller versus Darvish on Sunday.
Nice.
Padres Dodgers was I think like a 1 p.m. something like that. 1 p.m. first pitch, something along those lines.
You should find out when it starts.
110.
Sometimes your timing has been in question of late, so let's just make sure that we have that sketched out before you show
up. Fourth inning,
Confirm.
fourth inning, seventh inning.
Make sure it's there, not here.
Yeah, exactly. Just double check all your times and all your appointments. Emily, I've got a lot of questions for you that we'll get to in just a little bit because
what happened, Em?
that heavy
what's
sigh.
the sigh? Yeah, what's going on here?
It's been an odd morning, Slee. See, you're at the secret location, so you kind of missed the energy in the room this morning.
Here,
I don't know. We're going to try to get to the bottom of it. That's coming up next. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's any of us. I don't think, but we're about to find out. It's Trav and Slee. Don't forget, you do not want to miss the Waba Grill Sedano and Cap 4 p.m. hour today on 710. Waba Grill. Waba Grill makes. You want to help make dinner time a little easier with their new Kids Eat Free program. Get a free chicken or tofu mini bowl with any entree purchase weekdays after 4 p.m. all weekend long. Restrictions apply. Waba Grill. Eat smart, be healthy, and listen in the 6 p.m. hour today for the Waba Grill Pop Quiz and your chance to win Waba Grill for your entire family. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. Lip duo.
That is
Dua Lipa.
correct. Dua Peep.
Yeah.
Dua
Trav
Lipa.
was right. Trav was right.
That's as right as I'm going to get, Al. So, Emily, turn off your camera. Don't look at me right now. I just want to talk to Sliwa by myself.
All right.
Turn off your camera.
I feel like Mike Tyson. If you don't like it, turn off your station.
Go into studio. Go into Studio B for 3 minutes.
So, the day that I'm more often than not, Emily beats me to work. Mm-hmm. But on Fridays, I usually beat her to work. That's just kind of the way that it goes. Okay. I saw her come through the door, and I was trying to make eye contact with her, and she avoided eye contact. And then,
like the walking thing. When
You're usually taping your Ram show.
I am, but today I was here early, and you got here I think roughly the same time you usually did. I was just a little earlier than usual, and so she comes by, and I'm like waiting to make eye contact, give her a little wave, like, hey, how you doing?
Sure.
Didn't happen. And then I get up a little later to go get some coffee, and I come around by her office, and I say good morning. And I actually the good morning was, I would say, on the high side of pleasant. It was enthusiastic. Good morning. Okay, cool. I think we're off to a good start.
And I'm going to just, as somebody who's, I feel like an analyst right now of this conversation, you have some different good mornings. Sometimes I could also tell your good mornings are, okay, he's probably get another cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Might do him a little
This is not specific to her. This is people. You can kind of gauge where they are. Jorge's the only one that's pretty consistent with his level. Buenos dias. Yeah. You come in, you're ready to go. So then we do our meeting, and I can tell she's a little bit distracted. Not bad, but a little bit distracted. Then I go to get another cup of coffee, and she's in the refrigerator getting a can of Red Bull, which I don't think I've ever seen you do before.
Yeah.
I love Red Bull, but I don't typically have it at work.
She usually does just vodka.
Yeah.
This time it was Red Bull and vodka.
I take the Tito's that's here for the cappy hour.
Yeah. And so I said, "Oh, you little caffeine deficient this morning?" "Yeah, I need a little more caffeine." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." Good. And then I've been just picking it. We good, Em? Like everything all right over there? We gonna get off to a good start this weekend?
Okay, wait. Before she goes, now
it's a heavy sigh right there.
We got started, so we usually do our call around 9 o'clock, right? We do our conversation, topics we're going to get into, and everything else. And Em will call me on her phone. I'm obviously down in San Diego today, so she called me on her phone. And in the middle of our conversation, Em was like, I got to go. I got to get this call. I'm like, oh, okay. She's gone. We get another call from Em. We start doing it again. She's like, okay, I got to go get this call. Just call on Travis's phone. So I don't know if this all ties in together.
I don't either.
I'm trying to see if it does tie in or it doesn't tie in.
I feel like it probably does.
Do you want me? Are you guys done with your observations about my attitude?
We want to just make sure that you're in a good space. We want to make sure that you're ready to do the show and you're in the proper mental frame of mind.
I feel like everybody has these occasionally where you just wake up, one, on the wrong side of the bed, and just everything that day just does not go how it's supposed to go. I'm adjusting to a new personal schedule, and so I'm a little more tired than I typically am, and I'm trying to see how I feel.
Is this move related?
Move related, other things related, and so I'm trying to adjust to see how this works in my life. And then I get up in the morning, I just stay in the bed a little too long. I'm there scrolling a little bit longer because I feel more tired. I actually woke up at midnight for some reason.
Ooh,
not my roommate and not my neighbors. Another reason.
They were in Dallas.
Yeah, they were somewhere else. Okay, yeah, probably in Dallas. At Luca.
Yeah, I was going to say Luca's press conference.
So then I am in the kitchen making breakfast. My roommate, he has an East Coast schedule, so he's also up early in the morning. And so I'm making my food or whatever. I have my noise-canceling headphones on because I like to listen to podcasts or music in the morning. And so I just look over, and he's waving his arms at me, I guess trying to get my attention. And I'm like, oh, I get scared. He's like, oh, those are really noise-canceling. I'm like, yes, they are. I bought noise-canceling headphones. So he was being very nice. Just nothing. He's just asking if I needed something. And so I'm making my food. I get out the door. My car just didn't get the heat on right way. Anyway, everything was not right. And then I get my Starbucks. My Starbucks is warm, and it's an iced latte. And it has very little ice in it, and I didn't ask for a little ice, and it's warm. I'm like,
the font was wrong.
Fantastic. The font was wrong.
Font was out.
fantastic. And then I walk in. Oh, also my person liked on Survivor got voted out last night, so I was also mad about that.
There we go.
And then and Taylor Swift took away my favorite song off of her set list, and I'm like, what the heck? Anyway,
gotta be honest. We live good lives if this is what we're complaining about.
Exactly.
We're okay.
Today,
we're okay.
I'm complaining about stuff that no one cares about. I don't care. And then I go inside, and I'm just like, things are a little slow. I'm on the wrong side of the bed. I'm a little testy. I want people to do their own things, and people just keep on. That's why I had to take that call, is that someone needed my attention, and like, just do it yourself.
Is there anything I can do to help you?
No.
Okay.
I just need to direct my energy towards something related to
change
sports.
the light bulb. Want me to drive your car to the tire shop? I mean, I can
direct my attention towards Mike Budenholzer or the Lakers coaching job.
That's
where I need to direct
There
my
you go. Here's a transition.
We can do that. Vogel out 1 year. He got 4 years left on his deal.
Can I get Vogel's contract? Oh, my gosh.
I should have been a basketball coach.
Oh, my
I wouldn't have been a
gosh.
very good one, but this is the job you want,
You
right?
People who don't know, he signed a 5-year, $31 million contract.
$6 million a year.
Trev, here's the funniest thing about that. You know how many teams in the NBA would refuse to change their coach just because of that contract, right? Oh, wait,
of course, that's a lot of
guys,
money.
We're going to go 3 years. I don't care if this thing burns to the ground. I'm not paying 4 years for a dude, to obviously not have a head coaching job, to just sit at home. This guy signed 5 years, $31 million.
And coached 1 year and got sacked, right? And here's the best of both worlds.
Okay.
So you sign that contract that you just mentioned. You work 1 year and you're told by your employer, listen, this isn't working out. You don't work here anymore, but we're going to pay you out the remaining, what would that be, $24 million that you have left on your deal. Additionally, and here's where this is the best job that you can get, there's not anybody in your industry that thinks you got fired because you didn't know what you were doing. Everybody understands that you got fired because you got handed a bad roster by an impulsive new owner who doesn't understand how things in the NBA work quite yet, and he's just reacting to what's directly in front of him at any given time. And instead of realizing, hey, that Bradley Beal deal was a bad deal, had given away every single good pick and player we had for Kevin Durant, didn't quite work out the way that we needed to. I'll just fire the coach. No one's thinking that Frank Vogel is a worse coach today than he was a year ago. Nobody thinks that. He's actually one of the top candidates that's on the market at this point. So he can be very choosy, or he can just chill and collect $6 million a year doing nothing. That's the gig. That's the one we're all looking for.
So I think what you said, that's the most important thing. You said that I don't think anybody's saying that Frank Vogel, hey, let's not hire Frank Vogel because look what happened in Phoenix.
Right.
I don't think that's going to be a
or
conversation.
Or LA, for that matter.
I don't think that's going to be a conversation. Actually, the LA thing's perfect because every time somebody talks about Frank Vogel, you know what one of the first things they say? Well, he didn't trade for Russell Westbrook.
Right.
So what the hell is he supposed to do?
And he won a championship.
And the Russell Westbrook trade ultimately got him out of there, and he had nothing to do with that trade. So I think what you just mentioned about Frank Vogel, and then the thing that you said after that of all the candidates available right now, obviously the Los Angeles Lakers don't have a coach today. Of all the candidates that are out there, you can make an argument that he's the most accomplished of all of them. I'm not telling you he's coming back to coach the Lakers. I'm not telling you that they're gonna run it back again with LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Frank Vogel. But of all the candidates out there, he's one with one of the most experience, and then also has a championship under his belt.
So I think that they fired him was not a huge surprise. That they've already, if not officially named him, they have identified who their next coach is going to be. It's going to be Mike Budenholzer, the former coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, another championship-winning coach, who might be the most pedigreed guy available that doesn't have a job officially, right? So it seems very like they fired him, and 30 seconds later, Suns zero in on Budenholzer. Okay, cool. They have a plan in place. Good or bad, time will tell. But I want to bring this back to the Lakers and the speed in which Budenholzer was identified by the Suns and how it relates to the Lakers. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Right when I walked out my door this morning at 4 o'clock, there it was. Chevy Silverado High Country just winking at me like, yo, you going to get in? You going to drive it to work yet? I said, no, about an hour. Love my Silverado. Absolutely love it. If you've been thinking about a Silverado, if you've been thinking about any Chevy car or truck, you got to get yourself out to Rotolo Chevrolet. Because here's what you get at Rotolo Chevrolet. Unbelievable selection, especially when we're talking about Silverados. Every make, model, color that you can think of, they got you covered. The pricing, you're going to get a great deal at Rotolo Chevrolet. But what you're going to get that you're going to tell everybody about is the customer service. That's what Mike Capozio, who you see on TV, he's dancing around, he's having a good time. He makes sure that you have the experience of your life, that you feel good about it. It's transparent, it's courteous, it's upfront, that you don't feel like, I don't know about this. Never at Rotolo Chevrolet. You're going to feel good. So if you've been in the market, get yourself out to Rotolo Chevrolet. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit in Fontana. You can't miss it. And if you can't get out there, go online, rotolochevy.com, R-O-T-O-L-O, rotolochevy.com. You're going to feel great about it. You're going to see why Mike's dancing. You're going to find out whether they've won Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row. They're going to win at 14. I'm optimistic. You win at 13, 14's in the bag. Rotolo Chevy in Fontana. Go check it out.
She
play
took
it for
it
you.
out of the movie. This is such a good song. Whatever.
This is the one that's no longer.
Yeah. Clearly hates it. Which means she hates me.
You know what we can do? We can make Emily's day a little bit better. And you can make your vote count for the biggest night of the year for ESPN LA. Of course, we're talking about Mandy's 3. Go to ESPNLA.com and click on the Mandy's 3 voting page logo presented by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Injury attorneys you can trust. 213-747-2000. Vote now at ESPNLA.com. And give Emily a vote, not just because she deserves it, which she does, but let's brighten her spirits a little bit. Let's make, what's it called, The Archer?
Yes.
Since The Archer has been removed from something that you weren't going to go see again anyway,
That's correct.
let's make sure that she feels better about this whole thing along the way.
I want Taylor to like this song as much as I like this song, okay?
Is she replacing it with "You Touch Me on the Knee While Your Boys Play Madden"?
She did.
No!
She did put it in the set list.
No, she didn't. That song
No,
specifically?
here's the line.
Oh, that's great. I had
Yes,
no
part
idea.
of this, I was like, it says, I know Aristotle, you know ball, I know Aristotle.
Right.
Touch me, my boys,
Something,
play
yeah.
Grand
Play
Theft
Zelda.
Auto.
Yep.
Zelda was kind of fun, Slee. It's
Zelda
one of the
was
few
great.
games I
Yeah.
actually know. That was
I'm going to keep just
Shout
throwing
out
in
to Zelda.
random
GoldenEye.
games. Yep.
not bad. Not
GoldenEye was
bad.
good. James Bond, yeah.
Yeah, look, it's Bond.
64, come on.
Right?
But she's in Perry, just like where LeBron and AD will be.
Oh, well, okay. Let's just throw this in there real quick. Speaking of LeBron and Perry, what did you just tell me during the break, Em, about Shams?
So Shams is on
Listen
the
to
Pat
this,
McAfee
Lee.
show. Just like he just wrapped his segment, so probably like about 10 minutes ago he wrapped it up.
Okay.
So Shams Charania said on the Pat McAfee show that in regards to Bronny James and the Lakers drafting him, they said they do have interest in bringing Bronny in as a draft pick. They, as in the Lakers.
Alan Sliwa, your reaction.
Yep. Not surprised on that one. Not surprised on that one. The only thing I wish he didn't say is the Lakers have interest in drafting Bronny. I think what they should have said was LeBron wants us to draft Bronny. So we're going to have to do that. That's part of that's going to be part of LeBron's new deal with the Lakers that he signs. No surprise there. And you and I kind of gone back and forth about this. I think the more the dust settles, the more I guess it's just the price of doing business. Is that
With
the best way to
LeBron,
put
you
it?
mean?
Yeah. Price of doing business?
With LeBron.
1,000%.
Yeah.
There's
They-
no
if,
other.
if LeBron James were in Cleveland, they're not considering this. This is
course not.
just, we
Course
want, hey, LeBron, something he wanted to get done.
Yep.
It's
Then we
really
will
no
check that
skin
off
off
that list
our
for you.
nose. You know, that the 55th pick in the draft is probably not making the team anyway. So what's the downside?
Here's the only thing I would say to that. If, let's say LeBron had said, guys, I'd prefer actually, I'm going to make believe world here real quick. If LeBron said, guys, I prefer I actually don't play with my son. I want this guy to do his own thing. You know, like I want this to be, I want him to develop the proper way. It would be a distraction, a sideshow if him and I are playing together. I want him to just go play somewhere else. You know what would happen? They wouldn't take him at number 55. He'd probably go undrafted, and then he would just develop like a normal player.
Or go back to school.
Which, by the way, can still happen. He could go undrafted, and then a team can pick him up, even the Lakers, and probably spend a lot of his time in the G League. But I don't think – I feel more and more confident that's not going to happen.
I may have been doing this job in one form or another for too long because I love this idea so many different ways. It's the league is racing in two different directions. The league is racing in young and unbelievably skilled, and the turnover is going from a group of legends like LeBron James and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry to the next group of guys.
Kawhi Leonard and all those
Sure,
guys
sure.
all sitting in Cancun right now. Yep.
That we're going to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, Jokic, and they're just Wemby is coming fast. Ja Morant is still one of the best players in the league and very, very young. That it's those two sides are getting further and further apart. The Lakers really don't have a clear path to fixing their aging team in the short term. Their draft picks don't seem to be something that they're going to be able to jump on because they're just not picking high enough. and this draft is pretty weak. There don't seem, at least at this point, not a ton of free agents that are about to shake loose that have kind of identified the Lakers as a potential landing spot. And, oh, by the way, you got a guy coming back for his 22nd season. You don't have a coach, and you're going to give him his son, who may or more likely may not be good enough to play in the NBA. That is an amazing recipe for stuff. Good stuff, bad stuff, and everything in between. That is a recipe for all the stuff of, because look, if everything's clicking, cool. That means they're winning games. That means they're in the mix. If they're kind of in the middle, it's, well, why don't we trade for this guy? This coach isn't the right guy. And if it's not good at all, which is probably the least likely option, you might see LeBron play with his kid. So, I mean, there's nothing but stuff in this potential arrangement.
But I think nothing that you said right there, I think the stuff that you're talking about, what you didn't say is, okay, hey, you know what? I think this is going to get them closer to competing with those top 3 or 4 teams in the Western Conference. I think this move is going to get them. You know what? They fired Darvin Ham because there was a coach that they were ready to identify that they thought was going to take them from where they're at today to where they want to be tomorrow. Yeah, it's. I guess you can call it entertaining. It's stuff. I don't think it gets them any closer to where they want to be ultimately, or where Laker fans want them to be.
That's why I think it's so interesting. I don't think that, look, never say never. Something could shake loose that none of us see coming. It's like, oh, that actually is that. But as far as just the clear pass, like I'll say it again, going back to a few years ago, LeBron James is going to be a free agent. There was always speculation that he might want to come to the Lakers. Turns out it was true. The Lakers had a bunch of assets, young players that they were going to be able to flip for another star, and Anthony Davis was a clutch client, unhappy in New Orleans, had openly declared
relationship with AD, all that.
Had openly declared that he was ready to come to Los Angeles, and it's like, okay, boom. It was, you didn't have to squint to see it. It was kind of laid out right in front of you. If that's not going to happen, or something that's, a clear-cut path moving forward, let's get weird with it. Let's get crazy with it, because I don't think that there is a path to doing what you're describing in the short term. They're in the weirdest part of the organizational timeline where we may just have to sit, and I know it's the thing they least like to do, where it just kind of, we're going to have to wait a minute. The guys at the top, the young guys, they're getting better. Our best guys, one of them is literally doing stuff we've never seen before in LeBron. The other guy's on the wrong side of his career, and not that he's not good, but probably more good in the back than in the front. And now what? It's going to be wild. And bringing in the kid, again, I don't even hate the idea of bringing in the kid. I think it's going to be fascinating, but it's going to be much more fascinating than it is going to be awesome.
Will we hear "We Want Bronny" chants?
40. Let's say they get off to a weird start and they're not winning games. Book it.
Yeah, this is not good. Like all this. None of this is. I get the entertainment side of it. You're not wrong on the entertainment side, but what you just described, Emily, the "We Want Bronny," the if there's a game Lakers are, and listen, I got no idea how the Lakers season is going to go. I think you and I both agree that those 3 first-rounders that they have, that any assets that they have, there's a good chance those are all going to be gone by the time this summer.
More likely than not.
By the time we get to October, or not even October, July, whatever, August 1st or whatever, that a lot of those assets are going to be gone. Maybe they're able to identify a player. I do have some good news for you. Did you know that Trae Young is no longer with Clutch?
CAA
now. So that just happened. Which I think, and you and I were obviously not too crazy about it. You want to go mortgage your entire future for Trae Young, so maybe that means it's a different player that the Lakers are going to go try to mortgage their future for, which doesn't guarantee them anything. I mean, what's crazy is by the time we get to Monday, Denver could have got swept and they're out of the playoffs, when all we kept saying for the last 2 years was, well, maybe you just ran into the best team in the NBA that's won 2 championships in a row, and they got the best player in the world. Some of that stuff is true, but here's another thing could be true. Denver could be the second best team in the Western Conference, maybe third best team. I don't know. I don't know what they are. I know that Minnesota's up 2-0, and they're going back to Minnesota. I know that Oklahoma City is the youngest team in the NBA, and their best player was second in MVP voting. Luka is obviously Luka. There's a lot of teams in the NBA that can claim they're second, third, fourth best in the West.
And they're going to get better. The gap is going to get wider. This idea of shrinking the gap, I don't see it. I see the gap growing and growing significantly in the short term. It is an Ask Slee Day. It is a Friday, so if you got an Ask Slee, pick up that phone, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. And, of course, you can send in a tweet. You can send them to me at Travis Rogers, to M at Emily Hebel, and to Jorge at JabCamLA. That's coming up next. Ask Slee. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. It's 10:45. Let's get to it. Ask Slee right now.
All right. at Travis Rogers, at Emily Hebel, at JabCamLA. That's where you can send them on Twitter, or you can pick up the phone and call 877-710-ESPN. This man goes to the top of the line. It's Francis in Glendale. What's up, party people?
Hey, party people. Happy Friday.
Same to you.
I have a couple quick hashtag ask Sleeves. First, whenever you see my tweet on Inside the NBA, do you nudge Lady Slee and say, hey, I know that guy. He's a regular on my show.
Every time.
Also, does Mike Budenholzer look like he knows the Suns are going to fire him a year from today?
By the way, Francis, first off, the fact that your tweets make it to Inside the NBA, that's pretty damn impressive. So round of applause for you on that, because that is not easy. That's number one. Number two, this man has been waiting for 1 year for this coach to get back inside of some kind of circle here, just so he can bring him up. And the moment that there is some rumors going on that he's going to end up coaching the Phoenix Suns, you know this is a good day for Francis, Trav. This is an important day for him.
Let's keep it going on the phones. We're loaded up on the phones for Ask Lee today. This is very exciting. Let's try Kevin in Pasadena. Kevin, you're next.
Hey, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Hey, I'm wondering if the Sliwa family has any family heirlooms, and are you in line to receive them? Hashtag Ask Lee.
Say it again. What did he say?
He's asking if there are Sliwa family heirlooms, and if there are you in line to receive them?
So, no, we don't. And I'm assuming here, if he's referring to Trav, basically businesses, money that
no, like something that your grandmother's grandmother gave to your grandmother, who gave it to her mother.
Got it.
Heirlooms.
For some reason, I was thinking businesses and everything else. I think we have. I know my grandma, my grandpa had passed down specific jewelry, and we're talking, Iraq. And jewelry is it's a big thing in the Middle Eastern world.
Sure.
I don't wear any jewelry. I don't really care for it. But I know that we have, usually when you get, like, your communion is a good time where they'll bring jewelry in, like, okay, hey, this is getting passed down from whatever, your grandma, grandpa, and it's getting passed down to you. I know we have that somewhere, but I haven't seen that in about 25 years, so I don't know if my mom already sold everything and she cashed out.
she went out and bought
cashed out,
beer and cigarettes with the communion jewelry.
I love its beer and cigarettes.
Yeah, well, the first things that popped
well.
into my mind.
Yeah.
Frankie in Long Beach. We had a run on the phones today.
Let's
I dig
go.
it. What's up, Frankie?
What's up, fool? This is Frankie D. Fresh from Long Beach. I want to know if you are going to endorse and vote for me at the Mandy's 3 for Listener Choice of the Year. Hashtag Ask Lee. Hashtag Mandy Awards. Let's go.
Frankie, appreciate you
making
calling
his
in.
case.
Sure. I mean, okay, wait. Has Frankie been a freak at one?
Frankie, you got me with the what's up, fool? You got my vote.
Look, he asked me. He's the first person to ask me for it, so I'm going to consider his candidacy.
That's fair. Very fair. That's right. That's going to be part of the Mandy's
Your
this year.
votes are easily bought.
Just ask.
Well, you just got to call in and
Frankie D. Fresh the one who made a diss track about the entire station? That was kind of.
I don't think so.
Who was that, Jorge? That you're shaking your head. Who was it then?
He's the same guy that did the Rams raps. I'll think of his name.
Oh no, Lakers poet. Is that what it is? Like Lakers poem? No, I think that's who it was.
No, I think it's
Oh,
somebody
you
else.
find it.
He asked, so he's on. He's at least on the short list
Like I
of
do,
candidates.
just
Tweet at us so we know,
Just
so we
ask.
can send people your way, Frankie. Tweet at us.
Daniel Tapia writes, Slee, you're at a happy hour with a group of people, and there is a pitcher of beer on the table. Someone takes the last part of the beer out of the pitcher, only leaving a little bit at the bottom. Do you call them out for not taking all of it and offering to buy another one?
All right, so this is what I would do in that situation. They got to get called out a little bit. If there's enough to fill up his glass, you shouldn't be filling up your glass, right? Like you should be. If there's three, let's just say it's you and two buddies. There's enough in that pitcher to fill up one glass.
Yeah.
Don't fill up your entire glass.
Why not?
Unless, hey guys, I'm filling this one up. I'm gonna go grab another pitcher.
Of course.
But if I'm going to
That's
do
the
that, then I'm going to fill up somebody else's so I could go get a colder pitcher because it's going to be fresher anyways.
What about a one-man field?
That's good strategy.
But with that in mind, if he's not offering to go get another pitcher, then let's pour this thing around a little bit.
You can't leave a little at the bottom as I don't want to be the guy to have to go buy the next one. If you drink the last of the coffee out of the pot, if you drink the last of the beer out of the pitcher, it's your responsible to brew another pot of coffee or buy another pitcher of beer.
It's like that with everything. If you're the last person to take the last paper towel, last piece of toilet paper, you are the person to replace all these things.
The paper towel.
This is
closet.
Toilet paper.
I gotta go and I'm with you.
Well, how often do you come home and you wash your hands in the sink or whatever, and you look and there's just that cardboard roll on the things? Like, dude, seriously? Couldn't have walked out there and got another one?
No. That's the most disrespectful. It's not only that you used it all, but you left the cardboard roll. Because I'm gonna use the cardboard roll to dry up as much as I can.
How about when you walk in and you see a cardboard roll before you do your business?
Well, hopefully you see it before. Otherwise, the duck walk is in your future.
You know what's even worse? Is if there's just like it almost like it's the mask of like there's like one slice left and like on the toilet paper roll.
Yeah.
But you walk in, you see white, and you realize it's only that one sheet because that person before you just left it
and
there.
That one's gonna rip into half. And because that one's already
one sheet doesn't do anything.
Duck walk is in your future, man.
Emily, what do you got?
Animal Fries Well Done asks, when you get a call from someone you don't want to talk to, do you let the phone ring until it rings out and goes to voicemail, or do you aggressively hit the button to send them to voicemail immediately?
Rings out. Yeah, I just let it go. And if I'm looking at my phone and somebody's calling, now you're talking about you got to wait like close to 15 seconds, and it feels like it takes forever. But I'm going to wait it out. Look, can I just throw them to voicemail? I can, but I would prefer that they think that I just...
Yeah, that's it, right, Al? So it's if you hit the button on the side to send it to voicemail, at least I know if I call somebody and it goes straight to voicemail, they sent me to voicemail. If it rings, whatever it is, 5 or 6 times, it's maybe they're away from their phone, but I know you're actively dodging me if it's straight to voicemail.
The only thing I'll say is if I'm going to text this person, because sometimes I'll text them, say, hey, I'll call you back, then I'll send him to voicemail right away, knowing that I just couldn't answer the phone. I'm going to text him.
Do you reply with a text? Because you have that option.
Like if you called me, I'd pick up the phone because you don't call me very often. Right. You know what I mean? But if somebody that calls me frequently and I just don't want to talk, I'm sending it to voicemail and I'm texting, what do you want?
What?
Yeah, like what's up? You know what I mean? I don't need to get into the we can do this over text because I don't need to I don't need to get caught up. What do you got, Jorge?
All right, this one's from Mike C. He says, "Hey Slee, when you pump gas, do you fill it up until it stops, or do you keep going doing mini pumps until you hit an even dollar amount?"
It's such a good question. And these are such small, stupid things that we all do. I catch myself more times than not with a couple mini pumps. You know. Yeah. I'm trying to get to it. It depends also how close I am.
Do you have a number that you like to hit? Like, do you have your lucky number? Like, you like to land on, I don't know, 28 or whatever it is.
No. So let me give you an example. Let's say it's
23 for Braun.
Let's say it costs $62 to fill up my tank, but I stopped at 57, $62.57. Well, I'm going to try to get to 60. I want to get to 63. So I'm trying to get the double zero. Of course, we all do. Right? I'm going to try to get the double zero. So most times, yeah. But if it's like it's stopped at 62.14, I don't know if I got enough there. By the time I'm done finishing, I'm going to overflow this thing. So I will do it that way.
I got a follow up here. Are you guys picky with your gas stations? Is there a specific gas station that you guys get, either the Shell, Arco, Mobil? Are you guys specific or married to one?
I'm not picky at all.
I hit the same one by my house every time, and I get points, like frequent flyer miles. So the points add up. You can get
Do you ever go to
cheaper
Costco
gas.
Get a free Kit Kat.
Susan, that's where Susan goes for her gas.
Yeah, you have to wait in the long line.
That's why I don't go.
Yeah, but it is cheaper.
It is significantly cheaper, but I would rather get my points and I get my free sodas.
Free coffee.
Right.
This is something that I didn't realize before I came to California. And I don't choose my gas station based off this, but when I do get a gas station that does this, I get really annoyed. So when you put the pump in
nozzle,
the nozzle that can click and you can just let it go and it stays there. There's not like that everywhere.
It's usually because it's broken, not because they don't have it.
Either way.
Yeah.
It really annoys me because your guys' gas pumps in California are different than everywhere else in the country, and it annoys me.
Because we're environmental maniacs. We want to make sure that the gas doesn't
and
drip
I'm
out.
sure it's doing a great job of making a huge impact on the world.
Damn right it is.
One more for you, Slee. One of the Trav and Slee All-Stars, Raider Ruben. Thanks as always, Ruben, for checking out the show.
Oh, so Ruben doesn't have your vote?
Well, if he asked for it, I was going to say, if he asked for it, then I gotta reconsider. When you're having the type of morning that Emily's having, what is it you would try to do to make the rest of your day be better? It's a good question.
All right, this one, here's the thing. It's going to have to be after work, but you and I have talked about this. I don't know if you can go on like a half-hour, 45-minute walk and not feel somewhat better. I'm not telling you that the world has been, all the world problems have been solved. But damn, if you just are outside for a half hour, 40 minutes, something along those lines, get a little bit of sun, breathe some fresh air, I feel like by the time I get back, whatever was bothering me is not as big of a deal.
You know what? How it could make your day worse? You could turn your ankle. You could be allergic to pollen, and it's really polleny outside. Your phone could die out there, and your headphones die. You have to be in silence the whole time. There's a lot of ways that can ruin your day.
Also true.
You know what
which is why I'm not going to offer any solutions.
When I'm having one of those days, and it happens to all of us, food. What's the thing that I really, really like? I'm going to go get that. And at least
but you don't
go
go in like a downward spiral half hour later where you're
maybe,
like, why did I eat
maybe,
that?
but at least for that moment, I'm like, you know what? That burrito the size of a shoebox, it made me feel pretty good.
I'm like a toddler. I need a nap. I'm cranky, and I need a nap.
All right, the Suns fired their coach, and they already have ID'd their next guy. Is a plan better than no plan? That's next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon drive.
Does this make me a bad guy?
Yes.
So, Mother's Day on Sunday, obviously.
Sí.
And I ordered my mom some flowers.
Shouts out to Kev.
What up, Mom? And they were delivered yesterday. And I got a very nice note from my mom telling me, thank you, they're beautiful, appreciate it, and all that stuff. My pleasure. Am I a bad guy for sending them early? Because to get them delivered on Mother's Day is either you got to leave your kidney or you got to book it 9 months in advance.
Yeah.
Those are the only two options.
That's so funny because my sister's one of the things that was kind of annoying me today. My sister, who is very nice to schedule the
Which
flowers,
sister are we talking about?
Maggie.
Okay.
So me and Claire are paying for it, but Maggie is the one scheduling for it because she's a doctor or she's in medical school. She doesn't have a lot of money. So
Claire's ETF. Maggie's the other one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Maggie, I haven't really talked about much. And so Maggie was like, am I the worst because I scheduled this flower delivery not today, the 10th, but she scheduled it for the 17th by accident?
you got to fix that.
Yeah, so we're trying to fix it, but I'm also just like, we can also tell our mom, like, my mom will understand.
Surprise coming.
Yes, surprise is coming. We love you so much. But yeah, the flowers thing it's always everyone wants to get it for their mom, and moms do like it.
Yeah,
but we also are getting her something else on top.
How about this?
Air fryer.
How about this? Am I a bad guy for doing this? I took my mom to the Luis Miguel concert.
Sure.
As a Mother's Day gift.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can't be.
Well,
today.
Luis Miguel's not going to schedule it on your guys' time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm off the hook, right? Like, hey.
Yeah, no. That's a great gift. Because you said it's your mom's favorite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little early. It was like 8 months
April
ago.
15th, tax day.
Senor Miguel, can you come back like a month?
I mean, I got Claire's birthday gift in Hawaii. I took her on an excursion in Hawaii, like an added thing, and I was like, that's your birthday gift.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. But like Mother's Day doesn't sneak up on you, right?
Okay,
like
so
it's
here, Trav, I'll break it down.
Okay.
I think if she got her flowers, let's say Monday, or she got them Tuesday, versus getting them yesterday. No, you're good. Listen, in an ideal world, if you can see her and you're handing her the flowers, awesome. But we don't live in an ideal world, and that's why so many of these companies do so well with, hey, we're going to send the flowers for you and all that stuff. Books is one of them that we have, right? So I think you're fine when it comes to that. I think if you were late, then
you can't be late.
Am I a bad guy for them getting their Monday or Tuesday? You're not a bad guy. The thought's still there. But I definitely don't think your mom is sitting back and saying, why do you send them so early?
No, I don't think so either. But it's funny. When I scheduled it, I'm like, I think I'm just going to do it early because the other one
fee on Sunday.
It's just different. Let's just leave it at that.
Then that's different.
It's just. I was ahead of the game. I didn't wait till the last minute to do it. It was none of these stuff, but it was just one of those. And it crossed my mind. I'm like, I felt a little bad about it. I really don't think my mom cares.
How much is the difference of the fee?
It's enough to make me not do it.
More than $20?
It's enough to make me not do it. How about that?
Yeah, but I don't know if $5 is enough for
No,
you
it's
not to do
almost another bouquet. Let's just say that.
Jorge's real close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
say, hey, Feliz Dia de las Madres. May 10th. It's Mexican Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with you
we should have written the note in Spanish,
hey, Feliz
too.
Dia de la Madre. Travis.
The fact that you brought it up and that you say that you feel a little bad.
I do.
I think that says something.
Okay, I was just thinking about something. We missed an opportunity. We could have, for our draft yesterday, drafted mothers, but like mothers in movies, mothers in terms of like any pop culture mothers.
Mother Blanker.
Yeah, exactly. Any pop culture mother we could have drafted. Maybe I'll pocket that for next year.
Yeah. Like famous mothers, like Mrs. Brady.
Yeah, Mother Teresa.
Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
Mother Hen.
Yeah, Mother Hen. Any mother you could think of, we could have done it, but next year.
Well, can we do it a week late? Maybe.
We could do it.
I like that
just with the
idea.
flowers.
I want to pick first.
Exactly.
Don't forget, the Mandy's are right around the corner, so make your vote count for the biggest night of the year on ESPN LA. Of course, it's Mandy's 3. Go to ESPNLA.com, click on the Mandy's 3 voting page logo, presented by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Injury attorneys you can trust. 213-747-2000. Vote now at ESPNLA.com. So, Al, we talked a little bit a minute ago about Vogel's out in Phoenix. He's going to make a lot of money. He's going to get paid out for the remaining 4 years of his deal.
My freaking idol.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, the second Frank Vogel wants to get back into the coaching game, he's going to have opportunities to do it. He's highly respected, and et cetera, et cetera. So he's good to go. That's part A of this. Part 2 is the Suns, or at least the Suns made it known to people that report these things, that they'd already identified Mike Budenholzer as his replacement. And that while not official, it seems very, very likely that he's going to have that job. So fire Vogel, hire Budenholzer. Like step 1, step 2. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham, 2 weeks ago? Is that about where we are right now?
Yeah, I think it was actually... We were doing our show, it was a Friday. Yeah.
Okay. So it's been some time. And I'm not saying that you got to have the guy in, the press conference. One guy steps up and says, see you later. And the other guy drops in his chair and says, welcome to the team. But the fact that the Lakers could hire somebody tomorrow, I wouldn't be shocked. The Lakers might not hire somebody for a couple of months, and I wouldn't be shocked. The fact that it just seems that they're going through the process. Should I feel good or bad about that? Because whether the Suns hired the right guy in Budenholzer, time will tell. But at least there was all right, this guy out, this guy in, let's get started on making this better, as opposed to, hey, this guy's out, and then you hold a meeting on, hey, who are we going to place this guy with?
Yeah, I wouldn't feel good about it. I wouldn't. And to be honest with you, I don't know if this Budenholzer's name was one of the names that was being thrown around potentially for the Lakers job. Whether there was how much truth to that there was, maybe, and this is a separate conversation, did Budenholzer look at the two jobs and say, you know what, the Phoenix job is better than the Lakers job? And I have no idea, right? But I will tell you that the fact that Vogel is gone and we got a plan, right? The reason why we don't have Frank Vogel anymore, part of that reason is we feel like this can't be repaired, and we do have a coach that we feel like is available that we want to slot in there. That is a plan. I think with the Lakers, one of the things that everybody keeps saying about firing Darvin Ham, I don't question. I do think they should have fired Darvin Ham for whatever.
I do too.
I don't want to sit here, long laundry list of reasons, but my concern is this. Nobody has said that there's these unbelievable coaches out there that are available right now. And if you started, what did the rumors happen when the Lakers gig became available? The rumors started that Lakers got some interest in Jason Kidd, locked up, long-term contract. Lakers got some interest in Ty Lue. And maybe that's the card they're going to try to play. And Ty Lue's already under contract, so at the worst, I think the Clippers can just say, well, you got to play out your contract. You got to wait a year. Lakers are going to have to sign anybody, and they'll play defense by just not allowing him to
leave.
To leave. Okay, then what does that leave you with? So if J.J. Redick was your guy, maybe that's the guy that all along they thought is the right coach for the Lakers. I'm just talking out of my you-know-what. Is it Kenny Atkinson? Okay, well, all right, so – it seems like a lateral move. I don't really know what that move is. I'm not sure if that's the solution. To me, what you just said about at least the Suns, whether it's a good plan or not, it felt like they had a plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Lakers' plan is. I genuinely don't.
And that's the part that I think is interesting about the very first thing you said, that maybe Budenholzer looked at the two. The Lakers was open, and you didn't have to be a psychic to know that the Suns' job was going to come open, right? That Phoenix was going to make the move. It happened officially yesterday, but it was going to happen. And he's just, look, I'm gonna sit here, and I'm sure his agent and everybody else, they're all having these conversations. And he thought, no, that's a better job, because I don't know if there's a huge difference. The biggest difference, obviously, is one is far more prestigious than the other. One is a Tiffany brand organization in the Lakers. The other one is a team that's never won an NBA championship.
Yep.
But when you look
to be honest, I don't even know how much that comes into play right now.
Maybe not. Not. Maybe it's just, okay, I like that roster a little better than this roster, because to me, the Suns and the Lakers are in very, very – both teams have two really good players. Both teams have one of those very good players is well past the time where you'd expect him to be a great player in Durant and in James. Booker, I think I would take ahead of AD, but it's not a runaway. They're both really awesome guys. And then after
also
that,
very different players.
Very different players, but you got two guys that you can hang your hat on. And then after that, it's like, I'm not so sure. The Lakers have a little more flexibility, but your runway with LeBron is super short. The Suns have no flexibility.
Both with questionable owners, but for different reasons.
Different types of owners, but that have kind of painted themselves into a corner to one degree or another. Aren't they equally unattractive if you're looking at these positions?
If I'm a coach, and I know this is the wrong way to look at it, but can it also just be, wait a minute, they fired that coach after 1 year, and they gave him a 5-year deal? Isn't there a business side of this as well?
Do you think that makes it better?
I mean,
by the way, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just making sure I understand.
Is he not going to get a 4-year deal? What have we said about the Lakers with coaches? They're cheap.
They
They're
not
cheap with their
go
coaches.
big.
Okay, well, I could go to Phoenix. I can not get the headache that comes with coaching the Los Angeles Lakers over the Phoenix Suns. The expectations. Do you think more people walked away? And I think this is part of the play as well. Do you think people are saying right now it's Frank Vogel's fault that the Phoenix Suns didn't work?
Absolutely not.
Do you think people are saying it's Darvin Ham's fault that the Lakers didn't work?
Marginally, at best.
I think there are more people saying that, well, Darvin Ham had a reason to listen to what the players were saying. I think there's more people pointing the finger at Darvin Ham than they're pointing the finger at Frank Vogel. So I could go to the Phoenix Suns. I could probably get a long-term deal, get more money over there, and on top of all that, if it just does not work out, it still doesn't feel like it's on his shoulders.
I'm still taking the Laker job. It's the Lakers. You know what I mean? I get like there are things that you want to head for the hills on both of these, but I coach the Lakers. That's a big deal. Even if it's not maybe the perfect fit or the perfect situation or the perfect money, if it's in the neighborhood, I'm still taking that Laker job. Isn't it better? Isn't it just better? Like, and maybe you find a house.
I think today's world's a little different.
Yeah?
I really do. I think let's use Budenholzer as an example. He did something that's never been done before in Milwaukee in 40-plus years when they won a championship. He'll forever be – Michael Malone winning a championship with the Denver Nuggets will always be remembered as they won a chip there. And I think with the Lakers gig, and maybe this just has something to do with the NBA today is much different than it used to be. We're talking about this. We could come back on Monday and the Nuggets are out. That's going to be 5 different teams in 5 years that have won an NBA championship. There is some parity. It can happen now in other places, so I think there's a little bit of that.
All right, let's talk about that, about how the changing of the guard is taking place, and when you're on the wrong side of it, I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to jumpstart it back to the right side. That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. All right, Slee, let's talk about Prize Picks. You know that I love to do Prize Picks. You know what I like to do, Slee? I like to do the baseball Prize Picks. Tyler Glasnow right now, 6 strikeouts, more or less, against your Padres tonight. That's Prize Picks. You find the player you like, you see what the stat projection is, and you pick more or less. And if you can pick 2 to 6 players, you can win up to 25 times your money. More than 6 strikeouts for Glasnow. Going up, Slee. Give me the more.
Okay, here's the first thing you got to do. You got to go on Prize Picks and go grab Caitlin Clark, because right now she hasn't got a game until Tuesday. But that game coming up, it's half a point. All she literally has to do is score 1 point, and you win on that specific pick. I also got Karl Anthony Towns tonight with more points than 20. I got Jamal Murray with more rebounds than 4.5 rebounds. You got an opportunity to clearly have some fun during games, whether it's the WNBA, the NBA, baseball, like Travis likes to play as well. Download the app today. Use that code 710 for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code 710 on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
Did you know that if you're an employee
ESPN.
Pickled eggs, cold beer, a little baseball tonight. Pretty good day. Pretty good day.
Any high stakes in the game? Anything going on there, or just regular game?
I don't know. Okay. I know that the Gauchos are battling for the top spot in the Big West. I know that's a big deal. I know that's happening. The Gauchos are number 16 in the RPI. But the Gauchos play in the Big West, Lee, and here's the problem with the Gauchos. The Gauchos currently are not the top seed in the Big West. The Big West is typically a one-bid league. Now, the Gauchos have the highest RPI on the entire West Coast right now. They're at 16. So I think even if they finish in second, that they're going to be able to slide into the NCAA tournament, but this is my concern.
No, they're on top of the Big West.
They're behind Irvine, though, right? They're tied with Irvine?
So 17-4 in the Big West is the number 1 seed in the Big West.
Is it Irvine?
No, it's UC Santa Barbara.
What's
UC
Irvine's
record?
record?
15-6.
Okay, but see, they'll lose that's what it is. They'll lose the tiebreaker to Irvine. Irvine beat them 2-3. So if they flip flop or tie, we got a little problem.
Is Virginia gonna make the?
I don't know. I'm very selective in how I follow.
I was gonna say they're usually pretty good. I know they kind of went viral the other day for a on the bases. Okay.
Did they do a dance or something?
No, the guy behind, the guy getting interviewed was just like chugging water and it got all over her face. And then people were like, oh, this is me every weekend when I go out to get beer. Anyway, so that's Virginia baseball went viral for that.
I'm there for the cold goblets of beer and the special and the pickled eggs, Lee. That's where I'm going tonight. That's what's going to happen. How much ballpark food will you take down at the at Petco on Sunday afternoon?
It will.
Dog and peanuts and a beer.
I'm not eating before, so this is all completely dedicated to the ballpark.
Okay.
What will I take down? First thing I'm going to do is grab a beer and some peanuts.
Perfect.
That's kind of my first
start.
couple of innings. Okay. And then after that, one thing about Petco Park, and you've been there, there's a lot to choose from.
Tons.
So
good tacos at Petco Park.
I'm talking about everything. Like, there's a lot to choose from, period. So I don't know what's going to happen after. And to be honest with you, I don't really kind of want to plan that out. I want to see what's being served.
The Nuggets, like you mentioned, Slee, they could get bounced by the time we're back on Monday.
Nuggets from,
okay. you can.
You were still on food. I didn't know that was your transition.
Yeah, that's sometimes my transition is no transition. You just got. I like to keep you guessing. I like to keep you on your toes. Exactly. They could be out by the time we do our next show. I think they'll find a way to squeak a game out of this thing at least. And who knows? With Jokic, you're never out. If they go down 3-0, they're cooked. But if they win tonight, you have my attention again, regardless. The changing of the guard is so dramatic right now. And I really do think that there's like 3 groups. There is the young and we're here and you need to deal with us now. Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Denver, Dallas with Luka. Luka's still just on the right side of his 20s.
Apparently, nobody likes playing with him.
I bet executives would like to try to solve that problem. I think they'd all take him. There's that group of guys. There's the group of guys that are young but not quite here yet, namely Wembanyama and maybe Ja Morant if he can get. And by the way, they were number 2 seed like last year, like you've mentioned several times. There's the older and getting older group, LeBron, Steph, KD, Kawhi, Paul George, like those guys that have had great careers, but, they're on the wrong side of that. And then there's the Celtics that are kind of somewhere oddly in the middle where Tatum and Brown are young players.
That's a good point. Yep.
But they've had a ton of bites at the apple and haven't cashed it in quite yet. And if they don't get it this time, who knows what Anthony Edwards looks like or Wembanyama looks like or Jokic, they retool or whatever it may be. It doesn't feel like that bottom half is going to be able to jump into that top half with any, hey, if we make this move. There's always felt, hey, if we get Kevin Durant, hey, if we add this guy, if we get Russell Westbrook, that there's this crazy, like we'll just jump the line. The gap between those groups gets wider and wider, and even the Nuggets, who were the best team in the league last year, could be out in the second round.
Here's what I'm trying to think, and changing of the guard in sports happens all the time.
Of course.
So this is obviously you got no choice. I'm going to use as an example. There was a time where it's Magic and Bird. Isaiah Thomas is in the mix
Mm-hmm.
there, and Michael Jordan is on the outskirts trying to get in. Once that changing of guard happened and Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls took the reins, the difference was Jordan didn't let that go. Like, it wasn't this, well, Jordan's going to win it this year, but then there's two other teams that got a shot at winning it the following year. Let's take one when Shaq and Kobe are doing their thing. Then you got the Pistons for a quick little run. But LeBron was coming. And once LeBron came, there was this, all right, this dude I think is going to take over the league. I don't know if we have that right now, but what I do know is the days of Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and I'm just going to pick on the guys, the Kawhi Leonard, the Steph Curry, those days could be completely over. We'll see. The difference, I think, looking forward, you just said something that Denver, who I think everybody thought, guys, this is the Nuggets year, this is the Nuggets time, they could be done by Monday. I think it speaks more to, I don't know who the next star is. Maybe there isn't one star. Maybe this is just over the next 5-10 years, we're going to have 8 different champs. And by the way, I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think that's very interesting to have.
But
that
of
in
those
the NBA.
8 champs in 10 years, Al, I bet all 10 of those titles, even if somebody doubles up once or twice, they're all coming from that other group.
Here's the only one. Can I tell you the only one that I would hesitate on? Only one I'd hesitate on is, and these days might be completely over as well because they don't have their president anymore that used to be running things. The Warriors are the one that has seemed to, okay, we got to adjust again. They've done this a couple times, right? It was before Durant. It was during Durant. It was after Durant. But it was Wiggins and Iguodala, and they've been able to, be creative with what they've done. But that front office isn't the same. The owner has already said he's trying to shed payroll. He does not want to pay what he's currently paying right now.
And those 3 won't be the same.
I was going to say, and those 3 Hall of Famers they're not coming through again.
But I don't say I don't even speak to that as in it's going to be those 3 guys. I'm talking about it's Steph is the guy, and they find ways to kind of weave in other players. But it sounds like a stretch, right?
They didn't even make the playoffs.
You're right. You're 100% right.
They didn't even come. They didn't make the playoffs. It's not just that they got like the Lakers. Lakers made the playoffs. They ran into the defending champs, and they got knocked. They were in the play. The Clippers made the playoffs. They ran into another young, dynamic Luka team and Kyrie, but they made the Warriors have missed the playoffs more than they've been in the playoffs the last few years.
Won a championship a couple years ago, but I'm with you. It's not the same team. It's not the same roster. Even if right now they're in the process of trying to develop players, but what the Suns basically tried to speed this up as quick as possible, and it blew up in their face. The Clippers have done it for 5 years, and they have nothing to show for it. Luckily for the Lakers, and I do say this, that even if LeBron never wins another championship, never even gets close, he got one with the Lakers, so there's that you could always hang your hat on. But it's all the other players that are coming. And there's nothing that's going to stop this wave. And even if you thought it's Jokic and Jamal Murray, this is their league, they could be out by Monday. And maybe it is Anthony Edwards and some of these other players. Maybe it is Tatum getting his first championship finally. All I know is that all these dudes that seem like they have a legitimate chance of winning a championship are young, in their prime, or not even, or they haven't even reached their prime.
You
yet.
can't stop it. You have to try to find a way to get in on it. Because to compete with Anthony Edwards, to compete with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to compete with Luka and Wembanyama and whoever is coming up next in these situations. And Jokic and Murray, by the way, are still really young guys.
Sure.
You can't try to do it by cobbling together some weird Voltron of old guys. Or some weird Voltron of older guys and then keep, trying to buttress it with, I don't want to say B-level players because that's not what it is, but not that, right? That whether it's Russell Westbrook or even the next version of Trae Young's not SGA. Trae Young's not Luka. He's not Anthony Edwards. He's not Jamal Murray. He's a nice player or whatever, but he's not one of those guys. So trying to do that, it's the weirdest spot because their best option is with LeBron right now. Their best option a year from now might be with LeBron right now. You're waiting for that next dynamic young guy to pop up and want out of wherever he may be, or somehow, some way, hook or crook, you get him on your team before anybody knows who that is. And because there's no chess move, there's no addition, you just have to wait a little bit, which is what the Lakers like to do the least.
Because they're not bad enough to draft.
No, they're
one of the
not
top
with
guys.
LeBron like that.
And so you're going to use one of your first-round draft picks probably to get someone this summer and then kick that can down the road. But that's what's so
3 of them.
right.
Right.
But that's so frustrating because most of those teams that you mentioned are guys that were drafted to that team, with the exception of Shai Gilgeous, which was acquired in a trade.
To get a made guy who was in his prime. It was not a crazy move.
Right, exactly.
But Em, to play what you just said, and this is just how the Lakers have always done business. I'm not even telling you that this is how they should do business moving forward. They had 3 straight years where they had the number 2 pick, and they couldn't trade all of them fast enough to get away from trying to develop young talent, right? That's just that wasn't there. And maybe it was easy to trade them too, Trev, if they would have got – remember Lonzo went 2 and I think Tatum went 3?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a different conversation if Tatum was that guy. It's just they never got a guy that you said, hey, this dude is going to be the face of the franchise in 5 years.
There was varying degrees of, pretty good, or maybe someday, or not missed it.
But there wasn't a lock.
No.
There was nobody that was a lock.
No. I mean, look, Ben Simmons went first. Right,
Sure. Markelle Fultz, remember Fultz?
That Fultz, Jahlil Okafor, guys that were in these picks, and Brandon Ingram. Hey, this is Lonzo Ball. Hey, Lonzo could never stay healthy. Brandon Ingram's never really kind of taken that next giant leap forward. Of the group of guys they drafted, the guy that's the best NBA player of the bunch, Julius Randle. Right, like he's the one that. And I know he's not playing with the Knicks right now, but. You got to get a little lucky, and you got to be. And this is where the Lakers, I think, strike out. And there's an explanation for it, but it's still the same problem. They're very impatient. That sometimes you just have to say, look, there is no good. I'm going to have to sit this hand out. I'm going to walk away from the table. Yep. I'm going to let the cards change, cool off. I'm going to sit this one out. I'll sit down at the table a little bit later because I can't win this pot right now. I can't do it.
And maybe this is what has made them also one of the most established organizations in all sports. They are impatient.
Yeah.
Who else is impatient? The front office,
yep.
the ownership, the fans, everybody. Everybody's impatient.
And impatience always breeds the best things, right, guys?
Well, they have they got the championships to show that impatience.
Not this group doesn't. This group doesn't.
True. No,
this group does absolutely not.
I don't argue that at all, not for 1 second, but you can't tell me that they were not also impatient in the past.
I understand, but that's more a testament to the people that were making the decisions before, not to the methodology.
There's also a difference between impatience and let's move right now.
Well, I think that this idea that, this is how they've done it, it is, but the people that were doing it that way were
drastically different.
Jerry Buss, Jerry West. It was
the greatest executives of all time. Pat Riley was a part of all that.
Totally different.
Phil Jackson was a part of that.
Yeah.
Literally the greatest names to ever be a part of the game.
Yeah, there's a reason you just swing the bat like Shohei. Yeah, I can't do that. What do you want me to do? But it works for him. Yeah, I understand. I can't do that. What do you want me to do? And that's kind of where they are. And they're trying to. They're just not getting any knocks, or at least not to the level that it was before. Factor Caps coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. That's so cap, Dad.
Everything I've said is a cap, but I'm going to go back.
First of all, it's not a cap. It's
No, it
just
is a cap.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Hi, guys.
Aloha.
Hi.
I was going to wait for you guys to speak. Aloha.
Aloha.
All right, so I think the reason why I was in such a bad mood today is because I haven't seen a movie all week. I'm just itching. I'm like,
Is that super unusual?
Yeah, I see probably one in the weekdays, at least a week,
Okay.
and then maybe one or two on the weekends.
Scratch that itch.
I'm going to see 2 movies this weekend. I'm going to go see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which is a commercial playing right now on ESPN. Very, very psyched for that movie. Incredibly pumped. And Sunday I'm seeing I Saw the TV Glow, which is a new movie from A24, and I am going in with mixed expectations, and we'll see if I come out.
Do you have
What
the
happens on
AMC A plus
Monday?
thing or whatever?
2 questions at the same time. Who
Sorry
wants
about
what?
that.
Well,
Al?
Greg, let's do it again. We'll both do it at the
Okay.
same time.
I'll go.
Three,
What is your buddy's?
two,
What is your buddy's
one.
film?
Figure it out from there. What happens on Monday if you see both movies? You're still in a bad mood.
Then we're going to have to go somewhere else. We're going to have to talk to the doctor about that one.
Okay.
And what was your question?
The AMC A plus pass
I
or
have
whatever it's
Alamo
called.
Draft House season
Alamo,
pass.
bro.
And so I go.
okay.
I can
Country
see
club
everything there.
membership.
And what was your buddy's film? Prom date? Was it prom date?
Prom dates.
Okay.
It's cute. It's a
I'll check it
cute
out.
movie, and don't be like, oh my god, this is Citizen Kane. It's just a fun, cute little movie.
Is that your
Hulu.
go-to, like, classic? Like, when you
That or
completely-
Vertigo. I'm like, it's not Vertigo.
That's a Hitchcock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Alamo Draft
I
House
use
is like
Caddyshack.
your illy.
It is like my Illy. It's a
Yeah.
place where
Yeah, that is,
I
right?
can't stand any other place. I find the wrong things in every other place. I can only go to the Alamo and have a great
See,
time.
we understand each other now. We
I get it.
figured each other
Everybody's
out.
got their thing.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the first one. So my 2 best friends, they are the I love them, but they're like peak millennial and where they spend their money. They really love Allbirds, like the shoe brand. It's a very corporate millennial.
What's it
Look
called?
it up. Allbirds. You've
Allbirds?
seen them somewhere. And
think
it's
I
a
have.
very social media, Instagram-y, corporate shoe to wear. They love Allbirds. So they go
those are
into the store near them, the Allbirds store, and they get recognized. They're like, oh, you guys are back. And they were like, oh, dang, we come here too often to get new shoes. So there is a place where you do not want to get recognized, that you don't want to be like, oh, it's you guys. Trav after cap.
Fact. And this has happened to me once, and I literally don't think I ever step foot in there again.
Oh, we might be on the same. I think I might know where you're going with this.
It was a bar. It was
Why not?
Because you
Was it
don't
like a
wanna
little
be,
dive
Yeah,
janky bar?
It means I'm spending too much time in a bar. Yeah, it was one of those. Hey, good to see you guys
But
again. How
don't
you
you want
doing?
to go where everybody knows your name?
All right, cheers.
Not in a bar. I don't. Like a restaurant is fine. My barber is fine, or whatever it is. But when it was and because it was never like a relationship, I just was in there having beers way too regularly. So yeah, fact for me.
Is it the same thing if I go to the same trivia place every week and they say, because I think it's different.
No,
if I'm
you're there
going
to
for
play the
trivia.
game. You're not there to just sit at the bar sullenly and suck down beers.
Al, what do you think?
Cap, I don't think I have a place where I would be disappointed that somebody, even Trav, the way you kind of set yours up, I get it, but it's not like, you don't have a drinking issue. You're not in there at noon. You're not in there right when they open at 11. At least I don't think you
If
are.
they know what you're going to order before you sit down and they're like, hey, good to see you again, I was like, yeah, probably need to mix this up a little bit.
Okay, the only place that I would say, and this has definitely happened, it was a little weird. I went to go see I went to go do a physical, and the doctor there was like, hey, listen to the show all the time. I was like, oh. All right.
You don't want to be recognized.
You don't get recognized,
were
but
you
you're not
getting
there all
the
the
man
time.
physical?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I was just
Makes me really-
ready to
Yeah,
get
that's one of
questions
those-
about.
well,
I was ready to get questions about the
I
Lakers
loved your rabbit
offseason.
hole.
No, yeah, right. YouTube was great for that moment right there.
There you go.
If you weren't watching YouTube, you totally missed.
That's great.
Bert.
Oh well, the doctor's one of them for sure. But I'll say fact as well. I guess maybe something like a romantics. Like I probably don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be recognized.
You don't want to be
there.
someone going to that store.
I don't know
or
what that
whatever.
is.
It's an adult
It's adult
store.
store.
Oh, okay.
Adult store has
For
all the
sure
things
you don't
need.
know what it is, Trav. For sure.
Wait, like romantics? I thought you meant like a romantic
no.
location, like a
No.
like
Romantics.
that's
with
a
an-
name brand.
Yeah,
He's been
romantics
married a
with
long
an
time.
X.
More than one?
3 X's.
Specific. I mean, in this situation, there should be 3 X's, but only one.
I got it.
I have a card for it in my pocket. But
he's got to put one more punch, and he gets a free something.
It's 10th time free.
Cap, I don't have a place like that either. Maybe the airport. It's a weird place. I took my mom a few times to the airport, and there's like, hey, fool, like, how you doing? This and this. Or, it's just random places, but I don't have a specific spot.
Okay. Also, one thing, too, about that place where we go to do trivia. So my group of friends, and I've mentioned this before, a lot of them are gluten-free. And so we tend to, if we get pitchers, we get cider because it's crowd pleaser. I also like cider, so it's not a huge issue. So for a long time, they didn't have the cider. And then they brought it back. So this week, we walked through the door. They're like, we got the cider. And I was
but you're there for the trivia. If they're like, the people that only drink cider in the corner booth and they don't talk to anybody.
They're always good to see when we don't have the cider.
Right. We're never angry. We just had June shine instead. Okay, so I think we all may have seen this clip, but it's Luka Doncic's press conference.
Oh, this is so great.
In the midst of Luka saying some stuff.
Speaking of romantics.
There was a pause, and then there was loud noises that sound like my neighbor being played that everyone could hear.
Romantic noises.
And people, and then he kind of acknowledged it a bit and kind of brushed it aside. So my statement is, this is coming from someone's phone in the media scrum. Al, Factor Cap.
I'll go fact on this. I don't know where else. Okay, I don't know how far Luka is from the other players, but I know that in these pressers, at least for the playoffs, you're kind of on your own, right? So that, Berg, you know what I'm talking about, right? They'll have the coach up there, or they'll have a player up there. It's not like you're in a locker room. It's not. You're in a separate room. So I'm just going to assume because it's the playoffs, he's in a separate room doing his presser as he is. The only place it can come from is one of these reporters or a PR person or something along those lines that are there for Luka. So I'll go fact. I think it's coming from one of these people.
Berg.
So I'm going to go Cap and go the other way. I think it's one of the players in a room that's just near that room, and it was coming through the walls.
Pretty damn loud.
It was. I don't think
and
that
they were all
matters
just joking around. You think?
I don't think they were joking around. I think they were having a good time. Someone was in another room, thin walls. You can hear through us. You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
I think people were joking around.
You think someone was joking around?
And making the noises themselves. Just like be like, oh, isn't this so funny? I'm making these jokes so loud. These voices
like
so loud.
Guillermo's in there and he's
honestly, it could be Guillermo.
He's playing things like that. I don't know. I think someone's watching something, either watching something that they wanted to, that was before they got in there, or it's someone next door.
Trap?
I think it's fact. I don't think it was two people enjoying each other's company. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was a recording of that. And I think, look, I've been doing this a long time. Been around a lot of my colleagues over the years. A lot of degenerates in the group. Okay? A lot. No names mentioned, but a lot.
Come on,
somebody was probably looking at their phone, and the volume was probably left on, or they turned it on for another reason, and your phone pops on in here. Sometimes, and because when you look at Luka,
it was on Bluetooth, but their headphones died.
When you
look, AirPods died.
When you look at Luka, he doesn't look to the side or behind him. He looks kind of like, where's that coming from out there? He's looking out there. We all know where the sound is coming from, or at least where you think it's coming from. I think somebody was looking at something on their phone they shouldn't have been looking at that moment, and the audio came on.
I wish I could play that during Mason and Ireland. Just the background noise.
It's not. Put it this way:
it's not acceptable, right? Like I can't.
There's nothing. It's only what it is. There's not. Maybe it was a dog. No, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't.
There's one possible thing.
There's
for
only
this.
one thing that was happening.
Furniture.
No, I think it was a prank from one of the players because Ireland told us a story about a certain player who, in the plane, would open up his DVD and start playing the movie out of nowhere. So
but that wasn't a prank either.
No, he was just watching.
That was real.
So it could be a player in there watching something like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So the Bumble founder, Bumble is a dating app, a social a dating app now, and she was at some sort of conference, where they have panels, someone asks questions. So this is what she was at. So she was talking about how her company is going to expand into AI to assist with the dating app?
Our focus with AI is to help create more healthy and equitable relationships. And that also starts with yourself. How can we actually teach you how to date? How can we help you show up in a better way?
So give me an example.
Okay, so for example, you could in the near future be talking to your AI dating concierge and you could share your insecurities. I just came out of a breakup. I have commitment issues. And it could help you train yourself into a better way of thinking about yourself. And then it could give you productive tips for communicating with other people. If you want to get really out there, there is a world where your dating concierge could go and date for you with other dating concierge. No, truly. And then you don't have to talk to 600 people. It will go scan all of San Francisco for you and say, these are the 3 people you really ought to meet.
I'm starting this with Greg.
Why start with me?
Because
you guys have used dating apps.
Everybody else has been so freaking lucky.
Yeah.
My statement is dating apps are a hellhole. Greg, factor cap.
1,000% yes. They are absolutely a hellhole. They are awful. I can't stand being on them
And
anymore.
the thing is, too, we're probably awful, too.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
no,
we're
we're awful
awful the same way as other people are awful. We're all awful to each other.
Yeah, no, it is a disaster on those things, but this is ridiculous. You're having your AI talk to their AI to see if you work with that person and never speak to those people. It's middlemen, yes, for 2 different people. It's off. That's terrible.
I hate it. I hate
Terrible.
it here.
I
I
hate
hate everything about it, but maybe I'll find the love of my life. Who knows?
Yeah, but then you can also have, it sounds like you can talk to an AI to practice dating with people.
Well, you
which is
inform
ridiculous
the
in
AI
itself.
with your hopes and dreams and
But
fears and
they don't
phobias.
act like these women or men like normally. That's awful. Just get it out of my face.
Trav?
So I want to go back to hellhole just to start with.
It is.
I don't know. I will
Empty
take
pit of emptiness.
Yeah, I got questions too, Trav.
I will take your guys' word for it that it's a. But does it not matter what you're looking for? Like if you're just looking for casual relationships and maybe somebody you enjoy spending time with and. Cool. Is it still a hellhole, or is it only a hole if you're looking for a long-term partner?
Both are hellholes because
Okay.
one, if you're looking for something casual, people are just swiping based off of how you look, and
Sure.
then it's 5 seconds of texting, and then they also are the worst, especially the men. So I
Sending
can't
pics you don't really
no
want.
argument from me. Yeah,
that's the worst, too.
It sounds awful, and this sounds awful, and I'm glad I don't have to do it. That if the AI can weed through the numbers, the 600 potential candidates down to 4, that doesn't sound so bad to me.
Yes, and sometimes you can even use a dating app almost like a DoorDash. You're like, oh, hey, I want this in 30 minutes. Let's
They
go.
had that. You just used to have to pick up the phone.
Exactly.
That's
It's a
what
lot
Tinder
easier, less trained.
Yeah,
That's what Tinder
it's
is
in the
for.
back of the
Exactly.
newspaper.
That's what my buddy Martin does. He's like, I give up on this.
He's like, all right.
Like, hey.
I know people that just go right.
Your dasher will be
Got
here
him.
in 20 minutes. Al.
Okay, so I'm going to go cap on this, but as somebody has zero experience on dating apps, I'm still trying to figure out. I thought the convenience of a dating app was really kind of the allure, right? Like you could meet somebody, you don't have to. You're not meeting them at a random place. You could just simply meet somebody, and then whatever happens from there happens from there. Can you guys describe? Can you guys describe? But Greg, you've told me this. That you've mentioned that. Hey, to meet somebody, it's actually not that difficult to do. That's what these dating apps predominate. So what are the positives of a dating app? If it's not that, then what is the positive of a dating app?
That is the positive of it, where you can just do everything on your phone and then make a meetup with somebody. That can happen, but
Sure.
It's just up and down and
It's
the same
it narrows
conversations.
the funnel a little bit, right? Like at least you know the other people on the app are looking for
Exactly.
relationships.
So if you go to a bar, you don't know someone's
Right.
single, don't know if they're in a
Sure.
relationship,
Right.
they could lie to you, all that stuff. But the thing is that people you meet on dating apps typically, let me put this out there, is that they don't owe you anything. In terms of
Nothing.
like, people will stand you up, people will ghost you out of the blue. It's like that everybody here is almost like a transactional aspect. And you know that thing that people, like the old man yells at cloud, or like people don't talk to each other anymore, i.e. I don't smile at people when I walk anymore, is a product of this, that people don't owe each other anything.
See, I think we are also in different places, though, Emily, because you're younger, so the younger guys are a certain way. I am older, so when I was on it, it was very much, they were more so looking for the same thing that I was. So it's difference when you're in your 40s than your 20s.
Jorge?
I don't get it at all. I'm used to just meeting people random, like I showed up to Acapulco and shared a 6-pack of Modelos, and the rest is history. Seriously, that's what it was. And I'm not
look at you.
And I'm not talking about Mexico, Acapulco. I'm talking Downey, homeboy. That's what I'm talking about. It was random. I showed up. Hey, what do you want to drink? Well, whatever you want, and it's like a Modelo.
They need to put the Downey Acapulco on an app.
10 years later, you have 2 kids, and everything's great.
This being said, though, any time I've had a meaningful relationship in terms of a dating relationship with somebody, it's always been from meeting in person or through friends. And that's still always, for me, the one that actually works the best.
It feels like that is a better bet, that I know 2 people, I think you guys would get along.
Yeah. Sure.
Give it a shot.
Because you have stakes. You have... like something you owe to each other. You owe that friend who set you up at least a little bit. You can't just flat out ghost somebody that you have a connection to.
Hellhole. I'll say this though: the woman I'm dating now is from Hinge, from an app. So, and that seems to be
not
going
a hellhole.
So, well, as of right now, it's not.
Check it in 2 months.
Let me tell you,
gone through a bunch there, Al.
The Hinge, the tagline for the app when you're selling it on the commercials, it's the app designed to be deleted. You want eventually for it to not be useful to you anymore because you find the love of your life.
What happened to Match.com? Wasn't that the legit one where you could get married?
It's not. It's Tinder times 2.
Okay.
And it's also the thing is, a Hinge is the app designed to be deleted because I get so frustrated with it and then I re-download it again because I'm lonely.
Is Plenty of Fish still around? Because that used to be a thing.
Yeah, sure.
It's really just Hinge, Tinder,
Everybody's
Bumble.
on the same one.
That's kind of what you're looking at.
I'm
sure Raya.
Okay.
That's for rich
that sounds
people.
like a wonderful area.
You guys are so lucky to be in love.
I'm not complaining.
With your best friends.
I'm not complaining.
You shouldn't.
No, she likes martinis too.
She likes Modelos.
There you go. Mike Trout said, "Give me the surgery. I don't want a DH." That's coming up next. It's Travis Slee, 710 ESPN. Speaking of getting hot, Next Gen is the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. It's right. Next Gen, best in the biz. That's not just my opinion. Thousands of 5-star reviews online to prove it. And right now, it's about to get hot. It's about to be hot every day. It's about time for you to run that air conditioner every day. Why not get a full 28-point heat and AC safety inspection and tune-up for just $44? That's right, just $44 to ensure that your system stays running strong all season long, and they're going to toss in an air filter at no extra charge. So, Next Gen's got you covered that way. 833-3-NEXTGEN. 833-3-NEXGEN. So say goodbye to your AC, heating, and plumbing problems. Next Gen is the only name you need to remember for a safe and comfy home. And, Emily mentioned pollen earlier today. If you're concerned about the air quality in your home or you have allergy problems, give Next Gen a call. You can breathe easy with indoor air quality solutions to fit any budget. 833-3-NEXGEN. That's 833-3-NEXTGEN. Give them a call. been a better example of why you need to be on the ESPN LA YouTube channel than the what is that, a pantomime that Emily executed last segment? Good job,
Good work.
Doug.
Very good work there.
It was pretty good. You have some of that, Jorge? All right, hit me.
It was a little weird. I went to go see I went to go do a physical, and the doctor there was like, "Hey, listen to the show all the time." I was like, all right.
Oh, you don't want to be recognized.
Were you getting the man physical?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
ready to get
that's one of those.
I was ready to get questions about the
I
Lakers
loved your rabbit hole.
No, yeah, right.
Got Jorge on that one. She got
It's
Jorge.
incredible. It's just incredible. The Blue Review is your first place for real Dodgers talk each weekday. Corporate Greg, Marcus Grant, and Parker Bell, I think is how you say that. Parker Bell. They have your
Parker.
Blue Review weekday mornings at 9:30 on the very same ESPN LA YouTube channel. The Blue Review, presented by LAX, where change is in the air.
I just got a text. He says, I go by Señor Campana. That's what he said.
Speaking also of like the same thing of like mispronouncing kind of names that like we are familiar with. Yeah, I guess Parker Grant is not a hard name to say. I just never met him either. But this like you know how when you go to graduations, you have, especially if it's a college graduation, you have someone, a faculty member, reading out a portion of the names.
Sure.
So they might do A through AU for this thing. So I saw this clip that's kind of making this rounds, and this faculty member is trying to pronounce the name Sarah Virginia Brennan. Okay, pretty easy name. She completely butchers it. The next one is like Thomas Michael Adler. Also completely butchers. She was just like in a zone where she thought that all these names were going to be very hard. If you haven't seen it, it's really funny.
Having
Aaron.
Exactly. You get on tilt. Here's the weird thing. So, as you guys know, I'm a football family person. My son's a high school football player, football family. As the voice of Dana Hill's football, they do a night where they honor all the kids and they pair them off with a member of the community that has served in the armed forces, right? And there's 75 kids on a football team, give or take, paired off with 75 veterans. And you just start going through the names and you're reading all these different names, Sli, and all of a sudden, if you miss one, it's like a snowball that's just coming unglued down the hill. And the next thing you're missing names like John Smith. You cannot get out of your own way. If you get something that's a little unfamiliar, you kind of dig in. But I have deep sympathy for that letter. I think I mispronounced my own kid's name. Michael. Yeah, Michael.
I pronounce the last name.
Yeah, it was a thing. So Mike Trout. Oddly, this story popped up a lot of different places. I'm curious, Al, to just kind of get your thoughts on why you think it did. Okay. That he has a torn meniscus in his knee. And he opted to get it fixed through surgery. And he was talking yesterday and said that he could have kind of tried to grind through it as the designated hitter, that he couldn't be on his feet in the outfield and all that kind of stuff just because of the discomfort and everything that came along. But he said, I wanted to get it fixed. I want to get healthy so I can come back and be the player that I was rather than DH. But just before we get to the why that was everywhere, I just kind of want to put this out there. And this is why that idea of, hey, this is the worst case scenario that may be coming if you don't do something a little bit more proactive needs to be considered, because it was 2 years ago that I said they should trade Shohei Ohtani. It was a year ago I said they already missed the opportunity to really get maximum value out of this, but now this is your last chance to do something, because what could happen is the world could come to an end if you leave and get nothing. Here's where they are. They're 14-24. They're a half game ahead of the Astros out of last place. They're on a pace to lose 100 games for the first time in organizational history. Mike Trout, for the fourth consecutive year, is going to miss significant time. Anthony Rendon is on the 60-day DL or IL again, right? He basically hasn't played at all since they signed him to that incredibly expensive contract. They don't have any prospects. They don't have any guys at the major league level that you want to go out and watch. They don't have anybody at the major league level that other teams, the other 29 teams, are saying, yeah, I'll take that guy, where they can try to juice their farm system a little bit. They are nowhere, and they're still oddly expensive because they have guys like Trout and Rendon sucking up the amount of money that they do. There's no way out. And now it's like, Mike, you want me to grind this thing out and do this? Because what exactly? At least let me come back and be at the best version of myself I can. If you're in a pennant race, sure, try to grind it out. But this is the only option available to the guy.
I wasn't as you got to trade Shohei Ohtani. I wasn't screaming from the speakers that I thought they had to trade him for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was the best thing that the Angels had going since
what did they
won
have?
a World
What
Series.
did they have going?
They had Shohei. That's it.
But
they didn't have anything going. They just had Shohei Ohtani.
Okay, really quickly. You're listening to KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station. You're right, Slee, they did. And he's winning MVPs, and he's doing Babe Ruth-ish kind of stuff.
Yep.
They never won more than they lost, and they were
100%.
never even close to a playoff game.
100%. But let's say you shopped around Shohei Ohtani, and let's say you got a good haul back for Shohei Ohtani a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you still got the same owner. The problem is this was the argument I was making from the beginning, is you're asking an owner. The best news that Angel fans got was when for 30 seconds he put a pump fake on them that he was going to sell the team. That was the only hope that you had. After that, to be honest with you, whatever they did, they traded Shohei, they didn't trade Shohei. They have minor leaguers that they feel like are good prospects that can develop into something, can't develop. Mike Trout is hitting 10 home runs. He's leading Major League Baseball. He gets injured. Doesn't matter what the story is around the Angels. I think we all know that ownership has no idea what the hell they're doing, nor do they have a vision. Doesn't mean they don't spend money. They just don't spend it in the wise areas or the right areas. So no matter – if I told you right now, let's just put the Dodgers front office inside of that Angel – put them inside of Angel Stadium and have them take over the corporate offices of the Angels, take Angels ownership and put them in the give it 5 years or less, and you'll see whatever the Dodgers are doing. It's not going to look – of course, I know it's going to look different. But
Sure, I get it.
Whoever's at top. So what it is today shouldn't be a surprise, a shock. I think that the Mike Trout situation is just another kind of unfortunate circumstance with an organization that has absolutely no idea, nor are they giving their fans anything to root for.
There's no hope
There's
either.
no hope.
That's what's so disappointing. That even and you bring up a good point, I think, too, Al, this idea of, look, even if they traded Ohtani and pick a team that's flush with prospects, like Baltimore. Okay, let's say they said, Baltimore's like, look, we got a chance. Let's hit this. Here's our 3-4 best prospects. Go get them. And they got really good players. Baltimore's system is legit. I agree with you that they'll probably find a way to blow it with those other guys along the way, but at least there's hope.
Sure.
At least there's a, hey, look, that guy was the third pick in the draft, the second pick in the draft. There's no hope. That the major league roster is barren of talent. They have the worst minor league system in all of baseball, or very close to it. They're going to lose 100 games for the first time ever, potentially. The guy that is the one baseball star that cuts through, that outside of baseball, people are like, hey, that's Ohtani, right? They've got a guy that is famous beyond baseball. They did nothing with it. Like and they actually are worse off because of it. It's just bizarre that what's it like the simulator? Like we're living in the worst possible simulation, right? Yeah. That's the joke that we always make.
Yeah, the darkest timeline.
The darkest timeline. This is it. You had him. You did nothing with it. He went to your, I don't want to say your arch enemy, but your local competitor.
45 minutes away. Sure.
Right. And the other two guys that you've spent a fortune on never play.
You know, it's kind of, okay, two things here. I always thought that part of the reason why Artie Moreno didn't want to trade Shohei Ohtani was, I don't care what the cost is, I'm going to try to keep Shohei Ohtani. And it sounds like when that opportunity came in the offseason, that the Angels did get a call from Ohtani's people. And it's like, here's where we're at, out of respect. And there wasn't hey, we're going to match whatever the Dodgers do, which, listen, I'm not telling you they should or they shouldn't. Frankly, I think the only thing that I think most people would have been frustrated at with Shohei Ohtani, or at least would have questioned his competitive spirit, is if he re-signed with the Angels. But I guess that to me was the one moment where
yes,
that was the one moment where it was, okay, well, if you weren't going to trade him this entire time because he's yours, aren't you going to at least try to make a legitimate offer to keep him?
But at least that point, Slee, you could say, guys, we did everything we could. They offered 700, we offered 700. They went to 720, we went to 720. What else do you want? He just wanted to go somewhere else. At least we can complain. Okay, hey, Toronto's at 7, Giants are at 7, Dodgers are at 7. We just want to, like you said, extend you the courtesy. No, I think we're out of this. Okay. See you later. Anthony Rendon, hamstring tear. Mike Trout, torn meniscus. The high draft pick, that Nolan Shanuel guy who got off to a good start, he's scuffling like crazy. It's just, I don't know how much any of you guys watch. I only watched a little bit of it last night. The Angel game against the Royals, ballpark's empty. It's like it's just like it's oh my gosh! It is the darkest timeline.
You're going to go see the competition. That's the only reason why you're going.
Speaking of, did you see that catch that Bobby Witt made last night by any chance?
I did not see
Unreal. So he's the shortstop for the Royals. They're kind of shifting him as much as you can shift him towards second base. He's the shortstop, right? Little pop-up into shallow left field, kind of on the foul line. This dude runs from second base like towards the left field foul pole and makes it's as good of a catch as I've seen all year. It was awesome. It's on the other team.
Okay, that's right. On the other team.
Yeah.
Okay, one quick question here, and am I reading too much into this? Why did I take the Trout decide to have surgery over being – this is the headline of the LA Times. Mike Trout decided to have surgery over being limited to DH for rest of season.
Yeah.
Is anybody looking at – is that – a story? Because, like, help me with the story, because I walked away saying, should he have been DH for the rest of the season? Like, is it a negative outlook on Trout that he had the surgery?
I think if the exact same headline were written and take the name Trout out and put the name Rendon in, you're on the right track. But Mike Trout wants to play. I don't think anybody is arguing that he wants to play and play at his best. He wants to come back this season and be as good as he can, not be a fraction or a percentage. Yeah, and by the way, he's not very good as a DH. In his career, he's batting like 220 as a DH. So, give me a month or 6 weeks or whatever it is. Let me come back. Let me be Mike Trout when I come back as opposed to playing on one leg. Yeah. If it were Rendon, I'd be with you because he told us he doesn't like baseball.
And I don't even – that's just how I interpreted it. I interpreted it that way, and a completely wrong interpretation, but I felt like the headline made me think that most people are saying, well, why didn't you DH all year? So if that's not the case, then all right, doesn't matter.
When that 5 o'clock whistle blows, be sure to be locked into the LA Afternoon Drive takeover for the Tito's Vodka 5 o'clock Cappy Hour. Tito's Handmade Vodka, simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's Handmade Vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Don't miss the Tito's Vodka 5 o'clock Cappy Hour this afternoon at 5 on 710. Let's talk about the team that wins a bunch of games. Let's talk about the teams that does make good decisions, because the best decision of their offseason, I don't even think we've really talked about it yet. That's next. It's Trav and Slee, 710 ESPN. Time to make your vote count. Time to make Emily's day a little better. The biggest night of the year for ESPN LA. Mandy's 3 is just around the corner, and we need your votes. Go to ESPNLA.com and click on Mandy's 3 voting page logo, presented by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand, injury attorneys you can trust, 213-747-2000. Vote now at ESPNLA.com.
And vote as many times as you want.
Many times as you want. Where will you put your trophy if, in fact, we get that first Producer of the Year award for you?
We do have a very prominent built-in, like a built-in shelf area that is just the perfect size for a Mandy. So I think that it would work really well. Right there, it's almost right when you get into the apartment.
Drill a hole
in her car, just like on the passenger seat, everywhere she goes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like glue it to the hood, like a hood ornament.
Could do that too.
Like a Bentley, yeah, Rolls Royce, right? Instead of the lady with the wings, it's just a Mandy popcorn bucket.
Do I put it on my night table so that every day before I go to bed, it's the last thing I see?
It's the inspiration. The first thing you see when you get up, like Rocky Balboa had a picture of Clubber Lang in his mirror. You need to put a picture of Jorge and Lindsay in your.
I'm not talking about Jorge. Jorge and I are in different categories. Right?
I understand that, but look, you just gotta channel the winners.
Jorge when she wakes up and goes to bed.
That's inappropriate. He's my coworker. Come on, Travis.
In the mirror in the bathroom when you're brushing your teeth, right?
Okay.
You guys need to watch Rocky again. It wasn't next to his bed. It was when he went to go fight Apollo Creed. When he was training with Apollo Creed, right? And they moved to L.A. and he taught him to fight left-handed, and then they ran in the surf and were dancing around. It was an interesting scene.
Speaking of Rocky, did you see that little kid that went up to him? So Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, a couple months ago.
Yeah, and he did the whole speech.
But that kid isn't to everybody.
Yeah, but still, like it's pretty cool.
Which speech did he do?
I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen Rocky?
Nah.
It's like you gotta get up and keep moving forward.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Rocky.
Why have you never seen Rocky?
Rocky and Sopranos.
You like boxing?
If you listen to us.
But is that real boxing? Come on, man.
No, but it's a good boxing. It's not real boxing, but it's a good boxing movie.
I might check it out. We'll see. I'll tell my dad. Put it on for Mother's Day. Yeah, right.
Hey, come on in. The Mother's Day celebration.
Jorge's going to watch Rocky with his wife while Trav watches on Valentine's Day the hardest NFL hits with his wife.
Hey, worked out.
As long as there's a six-pack, we're good.
Worked out. I'm just saying. Everybody got what they needed. It's just, there's a lot of roads to the same destination. Absolutely. Shohei, $700 million. He might win the MVP. Yamamoto, I believe the final number was 332, I think was the final. He might win the Cy Young Award. Tyler Glasnow, I think, got 125, and he's probably the best pitcher in the National League right now. All of those were new acquisitions for the Dodgers this year. All of those were guys that, obviously Ohtani was the biggest prize in free agency, followed by Yamamoto. And Glasnow was a guy that I think every team in baseball would have liked to have had. They traded for him, obviously, but they were able to get that done. Teoscar Hernandez kind of flew under the radar. Dodgers announced today that they signed Teoscar Hernandez to a 1-year, $23 million deal. And I remember, guys, does everybody know that that's an all-star? Does everybody know that guy's really good? And he's going to be batting 6th for the Dodgers. Have we kind of wrapped our head around how good of a player that is? All he has done has been a guy that is 10th in the league in OPS at 843, 3rd in the league in home runs at 10, 3rd in the league at RBI with 29. And oh, by the way, you know what it is? And we haven't, Jorge, you play this cut a lot. The Shohei Ohtani Buenos Dias cut, right?
Buenos Dias.
The reason he was doing that is because Teoscar was in the locker room goofing around with the guys and making a nice, light, little fun moment. He is universally liked in that dugout by Latino players, white players, Japanese players, just across the board. Everybody likes this dude, and he's awesome, and he's not even the guy we talk about.
Yeah, it actually works perfect that we don't talk about him because he also wasn't talked about. It wasn't a big deal when the signing initially happened, right? And listen, I get it. It's look at all these big-time names that they just brought in. Look how much money is being thrown around. The 20 and some change on a 1-year deal for Teoscar Hernandez, that just doesn't stand out to what you're compared to. If he went to another team, maybe it's a lot bigger of a deal. Wasn't nearly as big of a deal that he came to the Dodgers. But I think this is one of the things that I would compliment the Dodgers on more about moves like this than the obvious ones, right? That, okay, we knew Shohei's going to go get as much money as he possibly can. Mookie Betts, he had the resume. Freddie Freeman, there's the resume there, and you were going to give as many years as possible to make sure that that player was coming in. But it's this, and I don't know, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you on air yesterday or we were off air, that I said that you had mentioned, hey, this is not just
he's not a guy.
Yeah, that's not let's just go fill out a roster spot, or this pitcher is going to eat up innings, and that's why we got. You know what I mean? That it's a real, legitimate player, and what he's been able to do this early in the season, that's unbelievable. Based on the numbers that you just had, if I told you, if you didn't put a name there and you said this is what this player on the Dodgers is doing, I don't know if Teoscar Hernandez, and this isn't a knock on him, but I would assume that you're saying, no, it's one of these other three potential candidates that have a chance to be MVP.
It's an embarrassment of riches that's not just accomplished because they have more money. That's not just accomplished because they're willing to throw blank at the wall and hope that it hits. It's very strategic. Okay. And like Paxton, I think, is an example of more of a, what's the down? Let's just give it a shot. If it doesn't work, like Syndergaard didn't work out. The lefty, the pitcher, Tyler Anderson did work out. Paxton so far is working out. Like those are the ones you kind of roll the dice. This was just, he's too good. There wasn't I don't know. It's like he's just too good of a player, and you made him an even better player by putting him on this team. That he doesn't have to be the guy that's hitting third and fourth and carrying the offense, 5 nights a week. If he just shows up and squares up a fastball a night, he's going to just do unbelievable things.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's also, he's in a position where there's no pressure on him.
Yeah.
Even when he is balling out, I don't know how much people are talking about him. And I know they're talking about him within the organization, but there's still going to be all the attention that goes to the big-time players. It's impressive. I ask you this. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. They've won 14 of 16. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts. It's like, you know what? Whatever the hell you thought this Dodger team is, they might be better than you thought. You're not going to have a perfect season. That's not. It's impossible to whatever. But it's as close to,
They're cranked up.
They're cranked up. It's as great of a start as you can ask for. If I said, point me out some weaknesses, what are some areas that you, and I'm talking about real weaknesses, not, let me, talk about the guest room having tile that I want to take out.
By the way, I'd like to do that. That's funny that's what you landed on. But
got to take the tile's old.
There are really only two things that you really can't even, and this is guest room and the tile. That's what this is. Number one is their bullpen is unhealthy. The problem is the guys that they're using are lights out and have pitched really, really well. Brazier is down. Kelly is down. Phillips is down. Gratterall is down. It's just a matter of time until he's down again. He gets hurt a lot. But the guys that they're running out there in their places are getting guys out. It's not like the Dodgers are losing games because their bullpen guys aren't healthy. But their bullpen guys aren't healthy. They're going to come back, and if anything, it gets a little better. Instead of it being an A, maybe it goes to an A+.
Can I give you a couple numbers here? In May, their ERA, the bullpen, is under 2.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, they're 6th in Major League Baseball in bullpen ERA. I think it's 3 1/4 or something like that. So if the bullpen was the biggest question, and you're top 6 in these categories, I don't know what the hell you want me to say.
And your 3 best guys, their 3 best, if you said who are their 3 best guys, it's Phillips, Gratterall, and Kelly. None of them are pitching right now. And Brazier's good. Trinan's awesome when he pitches. I'm really skeptical about his health. The other thing, Slee, is that if to put something in there, maybe their starting pitching depth, that you got Glasnow and Yamamoto who have been lights out. We'll see what Buehler kind of becomes. Pitches again this weekend. Paxton's been okay, but we'll see what Buehler is. We'll see when Miller comes back. We'll see what Stone turns into. Sheehan, Kershaw, May. I mean,
But
there's plenty of options to fill those holes, and they're not really holes.
I was going to say, just the fact that you could name that many names to fill the holes gives you, hey, if A doesn't work, how's B going to do?
Yeah.
B doesn't work, how's C going to do? If C doesn't work, how D? Like the fact that you have 6 or 7 options over the course of the next months predicated on health, that's also another thing I think to keep in mind. It's not like they're depending on – I could say this from a Padre perspective, right? If Musgrove's not healthy, there isn't a plan B.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of teams in baseball are kind of sitting there where there isn't this wealth of riches where it's just like, okay, well, if this guy doesn't work, then I got that guy. That's not how it typically works.
It's funny because I think you and I are both you're hoping for the thing that I'm terrified of. You're hoping that, hey, baseball's weird. Just get in. And hope that Darvish and Cease and Musgrove just
1,000%.
And because, by the way, seen it before. It happened once. It happened more than once. And what I'm terrified of is, hey, listen, what if it's one of those weeks where everybody's a little bit off and you run into Darvish, who can lock anybody up at any time, Dylan Cease, who can lock anybody up at any time, Joe Musgrove's a good pitcher. He hasn't been great so far this year, but pretty good pitcher. Like if he all of a sudden locked in, we're both terrified of the same. I'm terrified of it. You're hopeful of it because that's the recipe. That the Dodgers can have no noticeable glaring weaknesses, but it guarantees them nothing other than a seat at the table.
Here's the funny thing. If you really look at it, I'll use this 3-game set coming up, Padres and the Dodgers. The Dodger thing, like a chance to win the NL West, nobody in the NL West believes that there's a chance to win the NL West. So all anybody's thinking in the NL West is who's going to be in second place.
Mm-hmm.
The Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants are basically all fighting for second. But what you just said about you're basically hoping for, can the Dodgers have a bad week?
And you need to have a good one at the same time.
That's what you're hoping for. And I'm not talking about this week, and I'm not talking about this upcoming week. I'm talking like you're saying in October. That's when I think a lot of these teams are. Maybe it's Philadelphia and Atlanta are the only ones that don't have to think that way, but for everybody else, it is.
Hot and cold coming up next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
Coming up
ESPN, Next Gen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week at 12:30 p.m. Who's hot? Who's cold? Thanks to Next Gen.
Boy, time for Who's Hot, Who's Cold. Take it away, Producer M.
Boy, who's hot? It's some free lunch and also my latte this morning, even though it's supposed to be cold. Oh, man, I'm turning into a Karen. Anyway, turning into. That's what people are on Twitter are going to say.
Turning into.
Okay, so Jake Elliott, who is the kicker.
Can I go to your defense here for a second?
Okay, sure.
If I get an iced coffee,
yeah,
I want that damn thing to be iced.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a above and beyond.
I would have said
I
cold.
want a hot coffee.
I would have
don't
said
want
cold
ice.
because if there's ice cubes in there, it's iced. It's just not cold. I would have said cold.
I want it cold. Whatever.
So it's not an
extra
iced, it's
Yep.
just cold?
No,
what
not
I
even cold.
ordered was an iced coffee. What I got was a venti latte with such little ice, it did not chill the
you
drink.
wanted more ice.
I wanted more ice.
Got it.
I
I'm
didn't
with
get
you.
a hot coffee in a hot coffee cup by
Right.
accident. I got an
So
iced
did
coffee, so I didn't
you-
know.
You didn't. Oh, okay. So I was going to say.
So I
'cause
couldn't
I'm right
tell it
there.
was gonna be
If I'm-
cold.
If I'm
Yeah.
grabbing the coffee right now, I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, we're going to need some more ice in there. I'm giving it right back.
It's because sometimes I look out and whatever. That's not the point of why I'm bringing up free lunch.
Hot Cold is brought to you by.
Brought to you by my Starbucks. So Jake Elliott, who is the kicker for the Eagles, he said that Jason Kelce has been in the Eagles facility almost every day since he retired. And so some people had some fun with the jokes, like, oh, he's going there for free lunch every day. But I was thinking, is there something that you would do every day? Like, would you go someplace every day, even if it was like a little out of your way, if you got free lunch every day?
Not every day, no. I mean, there are things that I like, but no. I mean, not every day. That's now I'm in this weird thing where there's a free tuna sandwich over there. I got to go get it. It's like occasionally if a tuna sandwich just shows up, I'll eat it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get it.
Chad, let me. I'll play it this way because I'm the same thing. If hypothetically Lakers win a game, they're giving out 2 free tacos. Something I don't know. Even if I get the 2 free tacos, I don't know if I'm going to Jack in the Box the next day. I wouldn't rely on me doing it. Are you going to any type of sporting event? I don't think you will, Trav, but if they have, it's a cool bobblehead night. It's a free towel giveaway. It's Fernando night. They're giving away Fernando bobbleheads. Just using that as an example. Are you going to something like that because of the free giveaway?
It would have to be a very specific thing.
I'm with
Generally
you,
speaking,
because I don't think I'm going to.
If it were a Fernando bobblehead, I might give that a second thought. But if it's just Chris Taylor bobblehead night, I'm not going out there.
Lakers in-season tournament shirt.
And if you're Jason
I'm
Kelce,
good on that.
you'll still go to the facility. You can work out there. You can be with the guys. You can hang around. Do you think there's anything else that he's doing?
No, you just put your finger on exactly why he's there every day. Exactly why. The number one thing that all of these guys, basketball, football, baseball, hockey, doesn't matter, guys that are team sport athletes, they miss the guys. They miss their teammates. They miss the stuff where they're putting on their shoulder pads or their cleats and they're busting each other's chops. That going out there and playing football, they could probably live without that. But what they all miss is that stuff, that they're in the facility getting their ankles taped, they grab a sandwich, whatever it is. That's the part that never, ever, ever comes back.
All right, so who's cold is Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe is leaving PSG officially. He announced on his Twitter with a 4-minute long goodbye to the fans and supporters of PSG. This Sunday will be his last game to play for the club. So why it's cold, not only because he's leaving this club, but because this is a 4-minute long goodbye message. Either you make it a super long press conference that's 30 minutes, people ask questions, or you make it 2 minutes. 4 minutes
2 minutes is long.
Yes, 2 minutes is even long. Make it 4 minutes. What do you have to say in 4 minutes?
Okay, did you
that couldn't be
listen
accomplished
Did you
in
listen to it?
a minute? No. Okay. Here's what happened. One, it's in French, and I watched it because I couldn't. Even if I heard it in French, I wouldn't understand it. 2, I was in the middle of the show. 3, I watched like a minute of it, and I kind of got the gist, and I was like, "Why? What are you going on for 4 minutes about?"
Okay, this is the only reason why I asked if you watched it, because I'm with you. You can, under 2 minutes, you're probably better off. Trav, you always say best man speeches, right?
He's also not retiring. He's just going to a different club.
But here's what I will say. I don't know what he said. And if it's meaningful, thoughtful, he actually is, it's very organic. I don't mind it if it's that. I don't know if you could do that in 4 minutes. That sounds like, all right, well, you got to have a very captive audience if you are doing that. But if it's real, authentic, honest, all that, go as long as you want. Doesn't matter.
LeBron made a whole special about this. Oh, I'm taking my talents to a different
And
city.
if I was conscious at the time, I also wouldn't like that either.
It's no man's land. It's if you have, I got a lot of thoughts I got to get out. We're going to hold a press conference, and I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm going to tell you about everybody that ever did something nice for me.
Like Jason Kelce did.
Like Jason Kelce. My life, I want to take you through year 1 at PSG, 2, 3, I don't know how long he's been there. But here, this guy meant this. And just lay it all out there. Cool. That the expectation is there. Or hey, I love y'all. Bonjour. Or au revoir. I should say, see you later.
Adios.
Right? Is he going to Spain?
He might go to Real Madrid.
That's exactly what I was rumored to go to Real Madrid.
The shorter is all, you mentioned it, Al. No one has ever listened to a best man speech or a maid of honor speech or a toast at a wedding or anything like that and said, God, I wish you would have talked longer. Never in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, one good joke if you can. If you can. Something from the heart, get the heck out.
And the whole idea of it like being so sterile because you're doing a pre-taped thing in your living room or wherever this room is. It looks like he had some books behind him or whatever, but it just feels so detached, which again, I don't know the PSG community super well, so Jorge, maybe you speak more to this, but it felt very sterile.
Where's he going?
Rumored to go to Real Madrid.
Okay.
It hasn't been announced officially, but Real Madrid is the likely spot.
They've been after him for years.
Yeah.
And it's been a rumor that he's coming,
So wait,
he's coming. But
he's leaving, but he doesn't know where he's going? Or it's just officially not official?
It's not official.
It's not official.
Yeah, but the rumors are he's going to go there. You know, I'd love to, if he was just like, while he's recording whatever he's recording, but he's on his way to the bank and he's going to his safe and he's just showing the
selfie
millions and millions of dollars that are coming in. Something along those lines.
He's wearing a red shirt. Does that mean something? I don't know.
That's my favorite. We try to be internet sleuths.
What kind of books were they? Spanish
it's going to be a
books? German books.
Bundesliga.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. And especially you're leaving PSG, which is one of those teams that they always win their French league and they go to the Champions League, and that's where they earn their their stripes or whatever. But going to La Liga, if he does, will be different.
Who's Hot, Who's Cold is brought to you by NextGen, the official AC heat and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans. Call 833-3-NEXGEN. That's 833-3-NEXTGen or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. We got the dump coming up next, a little super crosstalk. It's right ahead. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN. I'm going to take my Silverado, and I'm going to cruise it home, and I'm going to be doing it in style because it's from Rotolo Chevrolet, Jorge. That's right. Rotolo Chevrolet, Dealer of the Year, 13 years in a row, because they take care of people like me, like you, like really, well, everybody, right? When you go to Rotolo Chevrolet, you're going to have the customer service experience of your life. That's what Mike Capozio insists on. That's what he makes sure that every member of his team understands, that when you're there, you get taken care of, that you feel special, that it's courteous, that it's transparent, that it's upfront. That's how they win the award every year. And they got every Silverado you can think of, every make, model, and color. They've got every Chevy car and truck that you've been thinking about is at Rotolo Chevrolet. So if you've been thinking about it, why don't you go on out and check it out? Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit, right there in Fontana. You can't miss it. And if you're thinking, Fontana's a little far from me, go online, rotolochevy.com, R-O-T-O-L-O, rotolochevy.com, and tell them that Travis sent you, and go find out for yourself what all the fun's about. I guarantee you're going to like it.
Coming up today at 1 p.m.
This says that Kenan Thompson is celebrating his 46th birthday today. He's been on Saturday Night Live for 50 years, so he can't only be 46 years old. That can't possibly be true, can it?
I think he started when he was 3.
He joined it in 2003.
That's incredible.
21 years.
Damn.
I obviously do remember SNL pre-Kenan Thompson, but not really.
Yeah.
Like, I know that Bill Murray was on it. I know that Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and Phil Hartman and Will Ferrell and, Tina Fey and all of them, right? But I really cannot remember a time where he was not on
And
it.
he was 25 when he joined it.
That's
that
crazy.
means that he was a baby, and he's barely known his life without. And before that, he was on All That, which is basically the children's version of SNL.
He looks the same in Good Burger 1 and Good Burger 2.
I know.
Dude.
Well, okay, and Trout, I'll ask because you guys watch Saturday Night Live much more than I do. Okay, he's still this young, 46 years old, been doing it basically on SNL for 20 years now. Where is he in the SNL? Like, do people still love him? Do they like him?
I think everybody likes him. I don't think anybody would say, all right, enough of Kenan Thompson. I don't think that thought has ever crossed anybody's
It's almost like
mind.
you don't even notice him because he's not like he's
in the best possible way of that.
He blends into every scene.
He's in every sketch too.
He's the secret sauce to every sketch. Because I've heard some writers talk about this, where you'll give Kenan a normal line that usually is the straight person, doesn't really make it funny, but he'll say it in a way that you're like, that's freaking hilarious.
So to kind of go back to what you're talking about, Al, I don't want to say nobody would, but I don't think a lot of people would say he's their favorite cast member of all
Probably
time.
not.
But I am virtually certain no one would say he's their least favorite cast member of all time. And if you said just the sketches that you've enjoyed the most, I bet he'd appear in a lot of them because he's been on forever and he's really, really good at it and very, very funny.
Yeah. He'll be like, Bruce, to what? And like, so my favorite sketch of his, which is probably one of the few that he's like led, and like, that's a Kenan Thompson sketch. He's not just being the straight man or whatever. It's the what's up with that?
It's
what's
incredible.
up with that? And they always have Lindsey Buckingham on, and they never let him speak. And it's the
And
best.
that's the one where Sudeikis comes out and does that crazy dance, right?
Yes. Yeah, and then he just eventually he tries to ask these questions, and then you'll hear the beat go in the background, and it's like, oh, you said this. It's great.
Happy birthday, happy 46th birthday to Kenan Thompson. Bono, Keyshawn's buddy.
Hope it works out.
Turned 64.
Yeah.
Hope everything works
Starting
out for you
artist.
and that Irish band that you got going over there.
Again, I just want you to know I have a garage if you ever, it's soundproof. So if you ever want to bring your band in here and see how you guys do.
I wonder if that isn't the last time that somebody ran across Bono and they didn't know who he was.
Am I right or wrong on this? But I feel like every time I hear an athlete say it, or a famous actor, actress, or a musician, they love when people don't know them. Like to that level.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Think about that level. There's a very, very small percentage of people that don't know who Bono is, right? They just use him as an example. But I've always heard that there's kind of a fascination and intrigue, like, hey, this person has no idea what I do. And they never come across people like that, so they actually enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It's like that one guy that sat next to Drake on the sidelines and
Oh, yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
and is like, wait, are you famous?
Okay, I need to be careful how I lay this out because the fact of the matter is I have no idea what I'm about to talk
First
about.
off, be less careful. It's Friday. You're good.
I do my Locked on Rams podcast with my co-host Doug McCain, and Doug is far more plugged into the zeitgeist than I am. Big surprise, probably. And I said, give me 30 seconds on this Kendrick Lamar Drake thing so I understand what this is.
You didn't listen when I explained it?
You did, but he took, first of all, he did it in
I still don't even know the beef, but go ahead.
I said 30 seconds, he did like 10 minutes, and I was riveted. This is terrific. I had no idea that
Can you give us now?
No,
Why?
because I don't know it.
It's even better if it's not even
the parts that I really like about it are not ESPN friendly, so I can't really do that. It was wonderful. So Emily, I'm asking as a favor, not as a criticism, but as a favor. Please, if there is something in the culture, the zeitgeist, that I do not know about, I need you to hammer it into my head because I think that there's stuff there that I need to know.
Okay.
And then I need you to put it in NBA terms.
Okay, sounds good. I try to do these things, but I think sometimes me yelling just gets it to it's a hum.
Well,
now.
no, not yelling, but so like okay, so this is the part that I didn't know was going on. I didn't know that one of the things that was kind of escalating the tension between these two artists was that Drake was short-shaming Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Okay, so sometimes I also don't know what's going to interest you, so I don't want to bore you with the details of the internet beef / rap beef.
He accused him of having a size 7 shoe. That's funny to me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's.
I do love that they're bumping in and out of breaks on the NBA right now with the Euphoria and some other versions of the diss track.
It's pretty great. So we've all seen it. We've all seen the commercial with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes where they're sitting in the diner and Andy Reid starts to eat off of Patrick Mahomes' plate. Apparently that was not scripted, but rather was ad-libbed. Did you beat me to that?
I did.
Oh.
I did not.
I
did
got
not.
it.
No, I know you didn't.
Yes, I did. I got
three of us did it at the same time.
No, we were letting Pepe in.
Pepe is waiting at the door, and
Get
we're
out of
all
here.
racing to get Pepe in here. But how great is that Andy Reid ad-libbed eating off his... And I don't even know if Reid's watch this, I'm going to ad-lib. I think he just probably started eating off of his plate. That seems like the most
I thought it was
logical
lunch.
response.
You know?
Yeah, I thought it was just a prop.
Well, here's the
You want
problem,
those
too. Problem, too, is Andy Reid didn't have anything on his plate. Listen, if I'm in Andy Reid's position and you're kind of going a little slow on your fries, I'm going to see if I get one or two. A couple chicken nuggets in, whatever the case is.
I don't get this one. This is bizarre to me. Clemson is the only school... Where'd that go, Em? You moved it. Oh, there it is. The only school in the SEC, Big Ten, ACC, Big 12, and the artist formerly known as the Pac-12 that has not taken a single transfer player in 2024. Of the 5 power conferences, well, 4 now because the Pac-12, but they dispersed to other leagues. Clemson's the only one that doesn't have a transfer player. That seems like such a bad idea.
All right, somebody help me out here. I don't understand the strategy. That's all college is now. Everything is transfers.
Dabo just trying to push whatever he believes is the only way and the good way to build a football team, and almost to his demise.
Oh, well, okay, wait. So let me – is the strategy – I just want to keep the players I have. We build continuity.
I don't want quitters. I don't want people that are going to transfer in another year. I want guys that I built, that I pursued, that I recruited, and have them there because he doesn't want people that are going to go jump the next year.
So if the next Caleb Williams says, after having a really nice year at his debut school, says,
I want to go to Clemson.
I'd like to go to Clemson, he's going to say, I don't believe in the transfer portal.
Just like how Dabo Swinney said he wouldn't have his school in the image of the Lord, an image of Jesus Christ or whatever, he is probably going to change his mind when it becomes beneficial for him.
I was going to say that good luck with that one.
Well, the Lord will have spoken to him by then.
Exactly. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
The last remaining roller rink in New York City has closed after nearly 20 years. You a roller rink guy, Mace? You ever put on the skates and start skating around?
Absolutely. That's Friday night in Maumee, Ohio. I was going to Ohio Skate. Oh, hell yes.
Could you do it?
Oh, I was actually really good in my day. In fact, I had my very first kiss on roller skates.
No.
Yeah, Lori Cope. We did a couple skate.
Did you have your hands on her shoulders?
Well, you did the thing. You did the thing where you're skating around the rink, arm in arm, and to have your first kiss on skates is not, the degree of difficulty is already high. To put it on wheels makes it even tougher.
Yeah, I think I'd be in a hospital if I tried to get on roller skates.
Well, but not back in the day.
No, when I was 12, I guess. But I still not good at things. When the platform under my feet moves, I'm not very good at that.
That was every Friday night for us. That was a big deal. Ohio Skate in Maumee, Ohio.
Emily, have you ever grown up in an environment where going to the roller rink was a thing?
Yeah. People would have birthdays at the roller rink all the time.
Okay.
I just was not very good at it. It's either ice or roller rink, and I was terrible at both, and so I'd usually just kind of do the arcade games and stuff around.
We had Skate Junction, I think, in West Covina or Covina, Skate Junction.
So there's a roller rink I learned not far from where you grew up. It's still there because I drive by the freeway every single day. It's not around the Fountain Valley. It's right off the freeway. It's
right by the mall?
I had many a date at that miniature golf course right by where you're talking about. Yeah.
Were you a roller skating guy?
No.
No? Yeah.
No. I only learned when I played street hockey. I learned how to skate because I was a really good
blades, right?
Yeah, I was a really good hockey player until I got on the skates. When we were just playing running around in the street, I would have led the league in scoring.
Car on. You'd move the goal out of the middle of the street.
Yep. Car!
Let's do a little super crosstalk, Jorge. Bonk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super.
All right, so I think we've turned the corner.
Turn what corner?
So you guys take me through this. I don't know if this happens with Greg occasionally. I think it probably happens with everybody. Emily was a little salty to start the day today.
Boy, I heard this.
Yeah.
She was.
I did not hear. Why was she salty?
We're better by now, right?
Yeah, I think my factor cap kind of cheered me up. I had some good laughs from everybody. So
what made you so grumpy?
I honestly don't even really know.
Really?
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
I mean, it's Friday.
And then everything started just to not work out. You know, I stayed in the bed too long. My roommate kind of scared me because I had my noise-canceling headphones on. My coffee, that was supposed to be an iced coffee, was not enough ice.
Oh,
so it was
God.
hot.
Oh, it's one thing after
what
another.
What a day. It all unraveled on you.
The biggest issues in the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you turned it around. And Slee, what is...
Can I play it?
Yeah,
I don't think John's
Ireland, you haven't heard this.
No.
Listen to this.
Jorge, please give this over.
It was a little weird. You know, I went to go see I went to go do a physical, and the doctor there was like, "Hey, listen to the show all the time." I was like, "All right."
You don't want to be recognized.
Were you getting the man physical?
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, I was just
Really?
ready to get
that's one of
questions
those.
about. I was ready to get questions about the
I
Lakers
loved your rabbit
offseason.
hole.
That's good.
Love your rabbit hole.
That's good.
That's funny.
Because we were
It's
kind
an
of talking
interesting
about
place.
places
Interesting
you
spot.
don't want to get
If you were on
recognized.
YouTube, apparently, it was even a funnier line.
There was a
gesture.
A gesture
Yes.
went along with it.
So when you guys get recognized in a bathroom, like at a ballpark or at the movie theater or whatever, do you shake hands with the person that recognizes
I'll
you?
throw an elbow.
Yeah, I never do in the bathroom.
No, in the bathroom, I don't
I think it's
one of
weird.
these.
I think it's awkward.
Somebody
I hug.
approached me in a bathroom. I was at I was at Love Actually.
Yeah.
And some guy walked
At
up
the
to
Wallace.
me. At the Wallace. And this guy walked up to me in the bathroom
And
said,
extended his hand?
No. He said, "You're why I'm here." And I'm like, "Did I get you to go to going to the bathroom? I'm responsible." No.
We talked about it
he
on
heard
the
us
air,
talking
yeah.
about it and wound up there. But he approached me in the bathroom, which was odd. I said, "Let's hold any selfies till after we're done."
Yeah, I've never been asked to take a selfie in the bathroom. I would probably say no.
No, I think I would decline the opportunity of a bathroom selfie, but a little elbow.
Although, then the story gets out. You know, I met Travis Rogers in a bathroom and he
Really
wouldn't even
a-hole.
take
He
a
refused
picture.
to do a selfie.
Yeah,
with
he's a
me.
jerk.
Yeah, standing next to the I'm happy to wear the I'm not the urinal selfie guy.
Yes, I think
fine
that's
by
good.
me.
You know, the conversation I did hear that I was somewhat fascinated by is Emily's and Bergman's frustration.
Yeah, the dating apps.
with dating apps.
I wish I had dating apps when I was coming up.
And I almost think that I've said many times on our show and your show that I think Emily would be really fun to date because she's always doing fun stuff. She's like you were talking earlier. You were going to trivia night, or you'll go bowling, or you'll
kickball.
go. Yeah, I mean, like, you'd never be bored if you were dating Emily.
Yeah.
And Bergman is actually a pretty good catch. Like he's a good-looking guy. If you see him around the way he's around his daughter, but I almost think Emily and Bergman, and I don't know how to say this, but like those dating apps are somewhat beneath them, or am I wrong about dating apps?
No, here's where you are wrong. Bergman actually has been caught, at least for the moment, and it was on a dating app. He met his the
girl he's dating
woman he's
now.
dating was on
But
Hinge.
isn't the dating
So it's
app
working.
Emily, you weigh in on this. It's to narrow the funnel, right? To know that you're looking for other people that are looking for relationships,
Right.
as opposed to just whether it's a bar or whether it's something else.
And I
It's like,
guess
I don't know.
the other side of my point isn't a very good one because then if you say, okay, you're right, I am above dating apps, and then you don't meet anybody, right?
Well, you can meet people in real life. That does still happen. Again, like kickball is a fruitful place for people to meet people. I've gone on dates from kickball related things. And so, like,
did you steal their pillow when you went on a date?
did not steal any pillows.
All right, just checking.
In that regards. But yeah, you can still meet people through people, and most of the like longer term or like more fruitful relationships I've had with people have been through a friend of a friend.
Recommended, yeah.
So I have had an occasional dating app, but it typically, like I've mentioned when I was talking about it earlier, it's like there's no one owes anybody anything with the dating app. It's all the next person is probably better than the person you have right now. So it's always like what's next mentality. So everyone's
How many dates
apathetic.
do you go on before there does feel like you're invested in the relationship, as opposed to just, okay, I'm going to meet, not for me, next one. Is it the second one? It feels like you have a little buy-in?
I think it's 4 dates. I feel like you're invested, or if you spent the night more than once.
But that's the third date.
Depends on who you are, guys.
Unless you're in maintenance pool, it's the third hour.
That was the first date.
Back in the 1920s when you were going steady, Travis.
Mason's not waiting 3 days.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is why I ask questions.
Juan and I met 5 hours later. We were in bed, and he essentially moved into my place right on the spot.
He hasn't left since?
No, he's been there ever since. 18 years, yeah.
It does move fast.
Well, you got to, I always make you do this, but you got to tell the U-Haul joke.
Oh, yeah. So
you've heard the U-Haul joke, right?
I have, yes.
What do 2 lesbians do on a second date? They rent a U-Haul. What do gay guys do on a second date? What second date?
I love that joke. And really, they have it right. What are we waiting for here?
Well, it's just men.
Yeah.
Gay or straight.
Yeah,
it's kind of the,
No, men.
Men.
That's the thing. Men are just. That's why I'm like, I would have done a lot of damage on those dating apps, man.
Ask Briones how long it took him to propose.
Well, I bet you it took me longer. Jorge, how long? From the time you met Brenda until the time you asked her to get married?
7 years.
Oh, you beat me.
Years.
I was 6.
Wow. 6 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Well, this is a bit of a trick question for me.
Yeah, well, because you met when you guys were kids.
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
Yeah, you don't
That's
count.
an amazing. You're the only person I know that married their.
Was he really? Funch was 10,
I think
Laura?
Funchy was like 10 years.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So we met in the 7th grade. So I was 12 in the 7th grade, and I got married when I was 25. So that's 13 years.
It's almost as.
Although, Trav, you kind of wreck a statistic that I always cite.
What's that?
All of my friends that got married in their 20s got divorced, and all my friends who got married 30 or older are still together.
Really?
Yeah, but you got married to your high school sweetheart. And did you guys date in high school?
Yeah. Started dating your junior year in high school.
And
don't you ever get sick of her? Like, oh, man.
Hope not.
I think it's probably a better question for her.
Yeah, right.
Look, I'm not even doing a thing. I realize that I'm the.
You won?
Yes, I get more out of this than she does.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I get more out of it.
Yes.
I go.
She did better than I did better than she did. I guess is the way of.
Well, I asked Michael once how he got. Julie, Michael's wife, is super pretty, and I said, "How in the world did you get that woman to go out with you?" And he said, "I walked up to her and I said, 'Hi, I'm a Laker. When are we going out?'"
That's
and I
pretty
went,
good pickup line.
That worked? He goes, "Of course it
That's
works.
a strong
It works
line.
every time."
So I forget where I heard this, but there was when Tiger Woods started hanging out with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley.
Yep.
Do you know this story?
I do. It's great.
Yeah, and so Tiger was inexperienced in the ways of the world, shall we say? But he was at this
And
point,
they would take him to places where there were tons
Vegas,
of beautiful
clubs,
women. Yeah.
all of these places, and he was like,
He was a quick learner?
How,
No,
and
opposite.
He says,
Really?
Yeah.
How does this? I don't know how to start this process, or whatever. And Michael Jordan says, "You say, 'Hi, I'm Tiger Woods,' and that's all you have
Yep.
to do." That's the entire
That's the line.
explanation of it, and he seemed to do all right.
Yeah.
There's
I think he'll be okay.
there's like it also helps if you have a really good wingman. There was a Mace, I think you watched this. I know I watched it. Did you watch with Joseph Gordon-Levitt the 6-part Hulu series on Uber?
Oh yeah,
it's so
yeah.
good.
Travis Kalanick. He's
Super
Travis
pumped.
Kalanick. Yeah.
And
No,
so
yeah, super
and so he had a really good wingman. And did you watch that series, Em? And so the wingman would walk up to attractive women and say, "Hi, I'm John. Hi, I'm Emily. You want to meet the next Mark Zuckerberg?" And she'd go, "I guess," and go, "Come here," and then blah blah blah.
So what about at work? Like you said, people still meet in real life. Would you be more reluctant if John or anybody else said, hey, I've got this person, because the investment is now you see John every day, and the bet is, what if it does? If it works out, then great. But if it doesn't,
I think more people
weird.
meet at work than you think.
Well, but you're talking about if one of us tried to fix her up.
If I came in and said, hey, Em, I got a friend that I think you'd be a really good match with. I think you guys would really like it. Would you be reluctant to do it in the event that you didn't like this person?
Wait, does the person work here?
No, it's a friend of mine.
In other words, Travis
I don't think you
fixes
would you?
Emily up with somebody.
No, I'd be fine
probably
with
trust that more than a dating app.
And I also, I would. And I also think that, obviously, before I'd say, I'm like, if this doesn't work out, X, Y, Z, but I can claim this. I set up my two friends in my last workplace. They set them up in 2019. They're still together, and they're on the way to be engaged. And that's the first time that I ever, set up. So here's what happened. So my friend was working there, and I had become friends with him, and I was like, this girl reached out to me who's going to work at ESPN, and we knew her through, I knew her from a friend of a friend. And so I got lunch with her, and she's beautiful. And I was like, this guy, you should meet this girl whenever she comes to work here. She's moving here next month. And I showed a picture of her Instagram, and he was like, oh, she's way out of my league. I'm whatever. Set them up. And they've been together for 5 years now, and we'll see what happens later on.
Perfect matchmaker.
Yeah, so I think it does work. I think you do trust the people you work with as long as you trust them.
We know you. I know you pretty well from on the air and stuff. If I knew somebody that was like, oh yeah, Emily would be great with that, I would say something. I'm not going to just randomly throw somebody out. Oh, you're single, he's single. Let's go.
You can't just. Yeah, I know another single person.
By
the
way,
Emily, I had the opposite effect the last time I tried to do that. So a friend of mine, guy I used to play basketball with. Matter of fact, he works in this building. He's a lawyer at AEG. I said, hey, you should go out with the girl that cuts my hair. She's super fun and she's attractive. And he said, sure. I'm not dating anybody. So I said it to her. I go, hey, you want to meet my buddy? He's a lawyer at AEG. I go, get you guys tickets to a Laker game. It's just go to the game together.
Damn.
See if you hit it off.
That's nice.
So I got them tickets to the game. They go. They not only did not hit it off.
Oh, no.
They were fine. I mean, it wasn't, there was just no spark.
No harm, no foul.
Right. But, and they kid me, both of them, about this all the time. They both then married the next person they went out with.
No kidding.
Both of them. Oh, God, I can't wait. I can't have guys like Ireland setting me up. But Lisa, my wife, is really good at setting people up. That was the last time I tried it.
I don't think I've ever set anybody up on anything ever. Never mind something that ended in a marriage or ended in disaster. I don't think I've ever said, hey, would you like to meet my buddy?
See, I'm a big mind your own business guy. If you're out there looking, good for you. I'm not necessarily going to throw anybody your way, but I do think it can work. I think that, by the way, it can work anywhere. This is the thing. Dating apps are a cesspool. You know what?
Hellhole, I believe, was her quote.
You can meet somebody, though, in the cesspool.
Yeah.
You can absolutely.
The hellhole is what I said.
And
a hellhole.
And if you need Laker tickets, go to John.
And go to John.
Yeah.
Right.
But apparently it'll get you the next day.
Right.
You got to keep taking hacks,
The
John.
Laker game itself will not result in anything.
Keep shooting your shot.
Yeah.
Super Crosstalks brought to you by In-N-Out. In-N-Out, that's what a hamburger's all about.